Then I forgot my damn key this morning. I had to drive back home. Yeah, what are you going to do? Gina's got the day off, so I couldn't even pound on the door to get let in.
That's right.
And she told me she was working yesterday. No good.
Good morning, Tim. Hope you and yours have a good Thanksgiving also. Coffin Ball, what's up? I'm a little worried about Audio One. I'm just... Morning and early happy. Jay Yandel letting us know. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Thanksgiving Eve, if you will. You guys have to be having a great week. How many of you are already off for the rest of the week? How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Yes, I'm back in my cozy confines, letting it rip, not worried about somebody next door, even though I have people next door. Top of the morning to you, Mark, and early happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. How are you?
I'm doing well. Right back at you. Happy Thanksgiving. Mother-in-law got in last night. Mom and I took in a basketball game yesterday. My son gets in today. So far we're 1 for 1 on
flights.
That's all you can really ask for.
Right.
And, they both had direct flights out of airports that haven't been really talked about as much with problems, if you will.
Right. So that's good.
Right. I mean, they're not coming out of Newark.
Right.
Which I don't know if no offense to you, the state of New Jersey, but right now, as long as my flight doesn't say Newark, I feel like I've got a fighting chance.
I'm flying into Newark in 2 weeks. I'm hoping that, they can get some things resolved between now and then. But, when you think airports and maybe things slowing down so that you can get something fixed, between Thanksgiving and Christmas is usually not that time. Hey, it's not going to be a theme because we have 18 guests on the show today. So there really isn't time for a theme and what have you. But is there something in sports that you're thankful for?
That's a great question. And I'm not trying to be silly. Outside of my job, which I love and love the fact that I get to work in sports, my teams have largely disappointed recently. You know what? Right now, I'm thankful for Spartan basketball. To be honest with you, yesterday going to that game with my mom was awesome. They were great. I mean, they blew out East Carolina, but they had a little hockey in them. The crowd stayed all the way through the game, and it was all green and white, obviously. There were 6 East Carolina fans there. And so the crowd was loud.
Right.
Even when the game was a blowout, they're chanting, go green, go white. And so when the players finished, they kind of came around and gave the applause to the crowd, which I was like, wow, how about that? A bunch of young men noticing that fans who don't normally get to go to a game went to a game, stayed for the whole game, were cheering as loudly for the walk-ons that got to come in the last 3 minutes as they were for the starters in the game. So that was cool. That was very cool.
Cool. So did they almost, if you'd put sticks in their hand, would
they'd erase the sticks.
Midcourt? Yeah.
They circled midcourt and kind of gave an ovation back to
Nice. Well done. That's
and
cool.
I don't know. It may have been Izzo. It seemed more organic than that. It didn't seem like a coach said, "Hey, go clap at the fans."
Right.
If you know what I mean. It's like
Right.
they got it. More athletes should act like hockey players.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I don't know if I'm thankful for any one team, all right, but I am thankful for the sports world. It has seemingly and maybe I have an appreciation this decade for the sports world when I thought that you and I were done when the pandemic hit.
Right.
Yeah, I thought, I'm like, well, we're never going to survive this. And, well, okay. Guess we got to come up with, now you can't say plan B in the case of Miller and Moulton because we're on like plan E. All right. So, but at that point in time, maybe it would have been plan C. I mean, we've had a couple of plans from then to now, but I thought, well, we're never going to survive this. And I told you that. And you said, no, we're going to be okay. I'm like, Mark, we're not going to be okay. There's no sports. We talk sports, remember? We went out of our way to tell everybody we're not going to talk about all the other stuff. There are no sports. What do we talk about? And it was remarkable how much stuff there still was to talk about with very few to no games being played. And not, hey, let's make a list of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time. We don't do that on this show. And we didn't do it then.
We do that voice a lot. We just don't do that show.
Right. Hey, who do you think, is a better player? Whatever.
Sometimes David does that voice. Sometimes I do that voice. We definitely do that voice a lot.
Right. But
you're right. We don't do those crazy lists.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we got nothing to talk about today. Let's talk about the Lakers and LeBron and the Cowboys. For goodness sakes. Anyway, so it just is remarkable to me how much the sports world, good and bad, I mean, not everything in the sports world is great, goodness knows. Think about just in the last 5 years, what's happened on the PGA Tour, what's happened in college sports in the last 5 years. I mean, that seems like ancient times 5 years ago in both PGA Tour and college sports. Never mind, obviously, the behemoth that is the NFL and everything else. Ohtani, we could go on and on. It just seems as if the Lightning and the Panthers all this decade for us. I mean, this whole sports seemingly gives and gives and gives. And it's remarkable to me how there are people in this world that are not sports fans. And I'm like, man, what is it then, that you're, because listen, this thing called sports, it's a giver. It's a hugger. Okay. It's not always a lover, but it's a giver. It's a hugger.
Well, I mean, I could argue with you on the hugger. It's a giver. We give a lot too.
Yes, we do.
We give a lot, time and money.
Yes.
And we've never had to give more money
to
just watch sports sitting on our ass.
Right.
I mean, those of us that yearn for 1998 cable again.
I'll take 2008 cable, please.
Right. Hell, please. 2020 cable, for crying out loud. But we give a lot. I mean, we truly do. But seemingly sports gives back. You're right. There's a lot we could go either way with this. If you wanted to just put sports up there as the topic and not a game, not a team, and just the world of sports. We could go in a negative or a positive direction. You chose, and I'm glad you did, to go into a positive direction because it mostly gives. And then sometimes it gives us the college football playoff committee. Because I was driving in and I literally, David, I didn't pull you. I forgot my wallet or my money clip, which has my key card to get in the building. Fortunately, I live 5 minutes from here, so I had to zip in, zip out, and grab it. And they were talking the college football playoff committee as I was driving in on the radio. And I'm like, is there a commissioner? Is there another thing in sports that we're as critical of, and rightly so, as the college football playoff committee?
Oh, yeah. I mean, first off, just the NCAA.
Yeah, but they don't do anything.
Well, they're now they are event planners. For 10 years, we've been saying they were event planners. Now they have been reduced to event planners and virtually nothing else. So, well, it's a sport based on opinion. So how can you not face ridicule when literally as a sport you are inviting it?
So I just was thinking about that got me thinking about, is there a commissioner for all the booing that Goodell and Bettman and Silver and Manford get when they walk on stages? Is there any more booing deserved to anybody in charge of sports than that of the college football playoff committee? It goes back, and you've seen it a million times, when this all started, when it was 4 and they put a committee up, and Mike Leach, the great late Mike Leach, just eviscerated them.
Yes, he did.
Oh, let's go to a room. Let's order it. I mean, he just lambastes them for 90 seconds. It was true then. It's true now.
Well, you knew you weren't going to get a lot of change, though, because, well, nothing really happened last week. There weren't a lot of good matchups. All right. The favorites won the 2 marquee matchups pretty much. So, I mean, I didn't expect much change. This is the week, baby. This is the week.
Absolutely, Dave. I'm not even talking about change. I'm just talking about in general, not because of this morning. I'm just saying on the whole, if you put the 4 commissioners up there, the college football playoff committee, the president of the PGA, I mean, you can line up all of the groups that run sports. Is there anybody that's more inept than the college football playoff committee?
Since nobody knows, because it's like a rotating person as to who represents the committee publicly, what would represent? Would it be like a trophy? Would it be an inanimate object? What would represent the college football playoff committee on the dais there? You have all the commissioners of all the major sports. And then what would we put on the stool? We have humans sitting on all those stools. What would we put on the stool to represent the college football playoff committee?
David, for you and side dishes in this time of year, I'd put a rotten deviled egg.
I was just going to say a dozen eggs since it's 12. Should we just put a dozen eggs?
Right, but they've gone bad. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you got all your eggs. You need them. Stuffing, there's different. You're going to need eggs, okay? Make sure you have eggs and butter. That's important over the next day and a half. I'm just telling you. We have a jam-packed show. We have so many people on this show, we're barely going to have time to talk ourselves today.
Yeah, that was pretty much it for Miller and Moulton.
Lee Sterling will make his picks. We'll do ours after that. They will be rapid fire because I have 37 games I'm picking.
Yes!
Seth Everett coming at us at 7:38. Then in the 8 o'clock hour, Roy Cummings and Bud Elliott to talk about rivalry week. And Chris Perkins to talk about how much the Dolphins are screwing up by winning here in the second half of the season. Miller and Moulton, a very early happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for listening. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
The 2025 Industry Appreciation Awards in Fort Myers have wrapped up, but the celebration of business excellence continues, hosted by the Lee County Economic Development Office, Horizon Council, and Horizon Foundation. This annual event honors the innovators, job creators, and community builders driving the region forward. Visit industryappreciationawards.com to see this year's winners and learn how local businesses are shaping a stronger, more resilient economy for Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Steve, that's a good point. The WNBA commissioners right there with the College Football Playoff Committee. That's excellent work by you. I'm not even kidding. I just want you to know I'm at 3 picks and we're not even done with Friday yet. Ooh, that's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And I like favorites.
You going to pay him there, Wes?
David, I'm at 8 right now. Just want you to know.
Have you gotten to the NFL yet?
No. Wow, that's a tough one. It's a lot of points, David. UCLA's kind of fallen apart after their initial magic.
It's a lot of points.
I know. I'm taking them. Let's go. Let's go, UCLA. Only 2 rivalry games I don't think I played. Virginia Tech, Virginia, which I still might, and Arizona, Arizona State.
Both ranked.
Yeah, I know. Both ranked in a short spread. Virginia Tech's one of the worst teams in the country against the spread. Are they going to cover 2 weeks in a row? Hell no. 3, 6. I'm at 10. We just did college games, David.
Want to make it an Elite 11? Pick one NFL game just for
I might have a baker's dozen today. Now, you know what? It's an Elite 11. I can't see any other pro games that I really love. There it is. The Elite 11. Most picks I've ever made in the history of this show.
And more picks than me.
I got to get back in this.
If Mark gets them all right, he'll be above 500. That's what we're going with there. I'm going to keep picking. In my case, if I did that, I'd have to pick 22 games.
Right. 39 and 60. That's coming off of a winning week, everybody.
A winning week, right. I'm 39% coming off of a winning week. Hello.
Oh, gosh, that's funny.
Man, it's nice to be.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Got the starting 5 coming up. Brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Big week in Lee County. Combining business, sports, and tourism. Off to a good start. Once again, want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend. Best of the next 2 days of Miller and Moulton, wherever it is that you are taking us in and however it is that you are taking us in. Can I let you behind the scenes Monday night for a minute?
Sure.
So we've talked on this show about, obviously there's Joe Buck, there's Troy Aikman in the booth. And they have what's called spotters. That's my role. I do that for Troy. Joe has a spotter and a stats guy who's not only giving Joe the numbers as to how much each play has gained or lost, but he's also then got a headset on and he's telling that to the truck and they're typing it in so that this way the graphics match up. And the three of us usually do not travel to and from the games with Joe and Troy. It's a long story. With other networks and other games, we do, but for whatever reason, that's not how it works with Monday Night Football. Okay. Now, I will say Joe and Troy are asked to get to the game earlier because of all the ESPN peripheral programming than, let's say, Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson when they're asked to go to the game. So, and there's really very little to nothing for us, the spotters, to do before the game starts. So we attend the game on our own, and we don't get, a primo parking spot. We get a good parking spot. We don't get a primo parking spot. So in the case of Levi Stadium there, we are kind of, walk through the parking lot, cross the street, walk around a big office building. There's a parking garage. Try to get a spot that's close to an exit. So, get to your car and you can get out and you can try to get ahead of a good chunk of the traffic. Well, if you stay to the end of Niners Panthers, and if so, God bless you. San Francisco converted a 4th down
at the 2-minute warning. So all they had to do was kneel down. Well, the three of us are no longer needed. So we just kind of look at Joe and Troy, and they're like, yeah, get out of here. Joe and Troy will take it the rest of the way. Great. We're gone. And we are racing out of there because the crowd is leaving too. And we're trying to beat the traffic. And we heard this roar as we're like leaving the stadium. And we're like, what's that? Well, that was apparently the melee that broke out after the game.
Right.
We didn't know anything about it. You know, we get to the car, we beat most of the traffic, we get back to the hotel in nearly record time, and then we're looking, of course, on our phones, on social media, and we're like, I'll be damned. There was excitement after the final gun. And Jawan Jennings and this Trayvon Morig, and credit to the guys in the truck. And I'm not just saying this because, you know, it's part of a broadcast that I'm a part of. But if it was any network, great job by them. Somebody noticed the incident that caused Jawan Jennings and the post-game handshakes to go after Trayvon Morig.
He got hit in the ding-ding.
Yes, he did. And he was not happy about it.
In the ding-ding. Sorry,
Right.
I'm watching the Eddie Murphy documentary right now. It's really at the top of mind.
How good is it, by the way?
Very.
Oh, man.
It's Eddie Murphy. Come on.
I know. Enough said. So, so this story hits home personally because myself, along with Bill and Ed, Joe Spotters, we're all wondering, are we going to have to stay through the post-game handshakes now? Okay, because in theory, you know, Joe and Troy, I have no idea how they handled it. I have no idea if they were even looking at the field, if they were just looking at one another and talking, and then all of a sudden a melee breaks out. And, you know, there are three trusted guys around them that usually see things.
All right, well, let me ask you a couple of questions here.
We're in the parking lot.
I got you. My only really one relevant question. Between then and now, have you received a text from Troy Aikman that used our president's favorite phrase? You're fired.
No.
Then you're fine. You're fine. And have you received a text from your sugar daddy that said you have to stay the whole game?
No, but you know,
you're safe.
Well, you know, it'll be interesting when we get to, where is it we're going this week? New England. All right, when we get to Foxborough there, if it's discussed as to when we can now leave the booth, okay? And if that's the case, let me tell you something. I'm going to hold a grudge against Jawan Jennings and Trayvon Morig for the rest of my career. Let me tell you, none of this post-game scuffling stuff. Although, apparently, Mark, for hitting Jawan Jennings, where did he hit him again?
Hit him in the ding-ding.
Apparently, that'll cost you a game.
It should. It was during the game, low blow, intentional. And now that we've all seen the video of it, that was on purpose.
Yes, it was. All I can think of is the late referee Ben Dreith when he called roughing the passer. I think it was on Marty Lyons of the Jets, and he had Jim Kelly, and he had him down on the ground, and he was giving him the business. That's 15 yards and a first down. That's all I'm wondering. Are we sure this is a game suspension? Because it was a generation ago. That was a 15-yard penalty. Post-game fine.
No,
are we sure?
No, that I'm fine with intentional hits below the belt resulting in serious penalties. No, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. What's worse? A punch to the junk or spitting at another person?
Oh, spitting. Oh, without a doubt. Come on. Spitting? Spitting. How low can you go?
I can wipe the spit off pretty quickly.
It's not
disgusting. No. It's disgusting. It's rude. It's vile. I get it. Punching the junk or getting spat on. You'd rather be punched in the junk,
yes,
than spat on. I think
yes.
It's a small question. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
I can guarantee if you type that sucker up as our poll question, okay, first off, I'll guarantee we're the only show in the country where that's the poll question. Never mind on Thanksgiving Eve.
Happy Thanksgiving.
From Miller
You
and
thought
Moulton.
you might get Alice's restaurant during a long segment? Hell no. Spit on or punched in the junk.
Both have warranted a 1-game suspension. Which is worse?
Thank you. And here's the kicker. Either on Christmas or the day after, because Christmas falls on a Thursday. And David and I haven't even discussed what we're doing for the 26th yet. There's a good chance you'll hear this segment again. Because not only are we going to give it to you for Thanksgiving, but I'm booking that one for a best of right now. Punched in the junk or spat on? I think this is a hell of a poll question. I really do.
Come on, if somebody spit on you. I mean, during the course of the game, cheap shots, guys get kicked, guys get punched. Okay, stuff happens. But
David, I'm not even talking football. I'm talking in life.
Yes.
Anyway. I mean, after a golf match, if the guy I'm playing against punches me in the junk or spits on me, I think I'd rather take the loogie, wipe it off, than be hunked over for the next hour, not sure whether or not my kids are going to work ever again.
Spitting on another person. I mean, come on. How disgusting is that?
It's very disgusting.
Yeah, it's worse, in my opinion.
In your opinion.
Right, I said.
Right. I mean, one wipes off, one doesn't go away for a very long time. And you thought that voice we made earlier? Think about getting punched in the junk.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This year during Thanksgiving week, Fort Myers takes the national stage, hosting not one but 2 elite women's college basketball tournaments, the Fort Myers Tip-Off and Coconut Hoops, both featuring Power 4 teams and nationally ranked programs. Few places in the country can showcase this level of talent. We're proud that Fort Myers is one of them. Don't miss your chance for tickets. Go to visitfortmyers.com/basketball. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This is Miller and Moulton.
Welcome back.
NFL players have been suspended 1 game for spitting on another player and punching a player in the junk. Which is worse?
Yep.
Spitting on someone, punching the junk. It's the greatest poll question in the history of the show. I'm done here. I don't know. I mean, happy Thanksgiving. Don't know if I'm coming back on Monday. I think we've won. Only the Levitard show would go here with a poll question. That's the only show I could imagine having a similar poll question. Hey, Gentry, you want that Miller and Moulton minute? We
And
got
there
it.
it is. There it is. Cut it and send it. Don't even have to tape it after the show. Just go back and snip it. Send it. Happy Thanksgiving from Miller and Moulton. Mashed potatoes, edge stuffing.
Are there any and I'm not letting David give me apple because apple's not really a Thanksgiving pie, in my opinion. I've got pumpkin, sweet potato, and pecan pie. Is there another pie that should go up on the best Thanksgiving pie?
You said pumpkin.
Sweet potato and pecan.
Not for me. I found out last night that my wife likes pecan pie. Huh.
It's amazing.
Wes, it's been a long time. First off, there were times where we used to do the Friday and Saturday games. So literally on Thanksgiving, I'd be in either Arkansas or LSU. I loved it, by the way, for what it was worth. Loved it. Got introduced to turducken in both places. Oof. Awesome. Wes, if you think about the Iron Bowls that we had, they were amazing. I be hard pressed to have Alabama and Auburn over the next 15 years produce a series of games that they produced. I mean, nothing's going to top the kick six. The comeback, Bryce Young's heroics 4 years ago to rally them and win in overtime. Nessler's call 2 years ago, Julian Bond, okay, for the 4th and 31 or whatever it was. Amazing. Amazing stuff.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Well, if you were listening last segment, you'd understand why. Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Coming up soon will be the starting five. So it's either a new low or one of the greatest moments in the history of this show. But our poll question on this Thanksgiving Eve. So we've had players in the NFL in the last 10 days be suspended for spitting on another player and for punching another player in the junk. And so,
What's worse?
We went there.
What's worse? We went there. Hell yes, we went there. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas.
From Miller and Moulton. I am proud mashed potatoes edged out stuffing yesterday.
I'm not, but I'll live with it.
On the best side dish. Close vote. It's a 52-48 deal. I may have gotten my voters to the ballot more effectively than you got yours. That's what that comes down to. Best side dish, not mashed potatoes or stuffing, was sweet potato casserole. And you guys roast your turkeys.
We're traditionalists on this show, David. That's what we are.
Apparently.
I have another poll question ready to go. Because in the Thanksgiving spirit, not only do we ask you if you want to get spit on or punched in the junk, we are going to ask you what the best Thanksgiving pie is. And I have pumpkin, sweet potato, and pecan pie up. Now, the question is, do you add a fourth? And if so, what is it? A lot of people will do an apple, but I don't associate apple pie with Thanksgiving. Apple pie is, I associate that with 4th of July as much as I do with Thanksgiving. It's an Americana thing, if you will. And I know Thanksgiving's an American holiday. I get it. I'm not that ignorant. But the one suggestion I got in the Twitch chat room, and when I did a quick search, does work, is a minced meat pie. It's a Northeastern thing. I've never had a minced meat pie. I don't know if I ever want one. But by my very quick research, the minced meat pie is an old school New England colonial tradition filled with dried fruit, spices, nuts, and sometimes spirits. Don't know where the meat is in that thing, but it's called a minced meat pie.
Sounds horrible.
It really does. But since the Patriots right now are the 1 seed in the AFC, I feel obligated to put a New England pie on the list.
No. Let's give it a few minutes. Let's see if after the starting 5, if people want it on the list or if they come up with a fourth choice that's better.
In that case, time to get to work.
The starting 5. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the starting 5.
Brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
2 packed houses yesterday.
The Fort Myers tip-off.
Fort Myers tip-off at the Southwest Florida Credit Union building. I believe that's what it is. And Suncoast Credit Union building. There you go. And a packed house for both games.
And they were spread out, so 2 different audiences. And the favorites won, and the favorites are going to play tomorrow, late afternoon.
I did something I've never done yesterday. We had a kerfuffle before the game with my daughters. I got into the game as it was starting. I was not happy. I planned on getting there a half hour early. But as my mother and I are walking in, we're parked, I says, you know what? I think I'm going to throw down some money on the Spartans. I made a bet while walking in the stadium. I'd never done that before.
Nice.
Yeah, that sucker covered by the half.
We'll start with the college football playoff committee. Very little change from this week's poll to last week because, very little happened last week. Top 5 remains the same. Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech. 6 and 7 flip-flop. Oregon is now 6. Ole Miss is 7. I will ask the question again. If Ole Miss loses in Starkville, are they in the playoff at 10-2? I say no. But they are 7, and a team they beat on the road is 8 in Oklahoma. Notre Dame remains ahead of Alabama, the Irish 9th, and the Tide 10th. Alabama right now is holding down the final spot in the playoff. I believe if they win the Iron Bowl, they're in the playoff. Whether they win or lose the SEC championship game. I think if they win the Iron Bowl, they're in. We'll see. BYU remains 11th. Miami is up 1 spot to 12.
To me, that's important, David. Because Miami gained 1. If Miami beats Pitt this week, BYU plays UCF. Will Miami then jump BYU? Because I think that's critical if there's any way for the Canes to get in.
Michigan is moved up to 15th. Are they close enough to Alabama at 10 and Notre Dame at 9 that if they knock off the Buckeyes for the 5th straight year, that they can move into the playoff? Tulane is the highest ranked group of 6 team, once again at 24. 3 new teams in the poll: SMU at 21, Pitt at 22, and Arizona. That makes Arizona State a battle of ranked teams.
Sure does.
A couple of 8 and 3 ranked teams. SEC has 8 teams, Big Ten 5, ACC 5, Big 12 5. You throw in Notre Dame and Tulane, and you got yourself a top 25. There was college football last night. All eyes on Amherst, Massachusetts. Would UMass go 0-12? Oh, you bet your sweet bippy they would. Bowling Green whooped up on them 45-14, and they're a 4-8 team. Western Michigan secured a spot in the MAC championship game. They handled Eastern Michigan 31-21. So Western Michigan, they don't know who they're playing yet.
No, the big log jam for second. I do know Central Michigan and Toledo play. One will get eliminated in that game, but I don't know if the winner automatically gets the 2 spot.
If you were the head coach of North Texas, and I believe they have a chance to play for the American
Oh, yeah. They need
championship.
some help, I believe, but they have, yes.
Would you leave North Texas for Oklahoma State? And it sounds like an absurd question. Why would you leave a school, in the American to go to the Big 12? Of course you would. Really? Oklahoma State has not won a conference game since the last time Florida State won a road game. They're 0-17 over the last 2
too
seasons.
long ago that they had a 10-win season, David.
Oh, they had multiple 10-win seasons, yes.
But I mean, it's in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's.
I know the last 2 years have been horrific.
Right, 2022, I think it was. He had 10 or 11 wins. Mike Gundy did. Right. Didn't they? They were the favorites in a Big 12 title game like 4 years ago and got stopped on the goal line. But Eric Morris is leaving North Texas to be Oklahoma State's next head coach. Ole Miss may want to pay attention to this. However, Morris and the school have agreed, A, he will coach the team this weekend. B, he will coach the team if they play in the American Championship game and if they then win it and go to the playoff. Something for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss to consider if he, in fact, announces he's leaving. NFL. It's been a focus of the show. The Panthers safety, Trayvon Moehrig, suspended by the league for his low blow on the Niners wide receiver, Juwan Jennings. Bills signed veteran wide receiver Brandon Cooks, who was waived over the weekend by the Saints. Speaking of the Saints, they released their kicker, Blake Grupe, because, well, he was the worst kicker in the league by percentage. They signed Cade York instead of Justin Tucker. They worked the 2 of them out 2 days ago. They went with the young guy. And Mark, Hall of Fame semifinalist list was announced. They're down to 26 guys. 5 highly thought of newcomers: Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Frank Gore. Eventually, they will cut 26 down to 15. And then the committee will also consider 3 senior candidates, a coaching candidate, and a contributor candidate. Last year's Hall of Fame class of 4 was the smallest in 20 years. They could have as many as 8. Baseball. Red Sox acquire righty Sonny Gray from the Cardinals for 2 minor leaguers. Rays, this is an interesting deal. They released this guy a week ago, Jake Fraley, an outfielder. Not only did they re-sign him yesterday, they gave him a $3 million deal. NHL, 1 game. You think Knobloch's going to get fired in Edmonton? They're 10-10-5. Dallas went into Edmonton, scored 4 in the first on their way to an 8-3 win. Jamie Benn, by the way, with his 400th goal. Not a Hall of Famer, but a hell of a career. 3 games in the NBA. Orlando went into Philly and won by 41.
Yeah, it's amazing some nights when, obviously we look every morning at the scores. Some of the point totals in the NBA this year, the teams that are getting to 140 plus on a nightly basis is amazing to me.
Well, only 3 games last night in the association. Listen to the winning totals. Orlando, 144-103. Anthony Black with 31. Washington snapped a 14-game skid. They beat Atlanta, 132-113. And the Lakers beat the Clippers. 5 wins in a row for the Lakers. Luka with 43, LeBron with 25. Lakers are 13-4, by the way. The final score was 135-118. Wow. College hoops, there's a ton of it. Could do 20 minutes on just the day and night in college basketball. Game of the day, 2 ranked teams. 17th ranked Tennessee got the better of 3rd ranked Houston, 76-73. Mark was talking about the Fort Myers tip-off. Michigan State bombed East Carolina, 89-56. I like the Bonnies in 12.5. Looked good at the half. It was a 2-point game, but North Carolina pulled away and found a way to cover 85-70. 21st ranked Auburn got whacked by 7th ranked Michigan, 102-72. And it was 8th ranked Alabama doing the whacking as they took out their loss to Gonzaga on UNLV, 115-76. 115 points in a college game that doesn't go to overtime. Wow. One upset, Cal beat UCLA. Bruins are ranked, Bears are not, 80-72. In the state of Florida, FAU lost to George Mason. FGCU needed overtime to improve to 5-2 and beat Rice 78-63. Stetson and Jacksonville men both lost. Florida State's 5-1. They beat Bakersfield by 30. On the women's side, Stetson and Jacksonville won. FGCU lost at home to Indiana 82-64. They're off to a 1-3 start. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was the starting 5. 5 big stories you need to know on this Thanksgiving Eve here on Miller and Moulton. The starting 5 brought to you by Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. Yeah.
A lot of that yesterday, all going on simultaneously. Business, sports, and tourism.
Yep.
For college hoop all over Southwest Florida. Great tournaments. Check them out if you have the time and get into the games. They had good houses yesterday for the Bonnies and Tar Heels and Spartans and Pirates, both having great crowds. And I know that the Michigan State, North Carolina game, well, that one sold out.
As you would expect, but there's hoops going on all week long in that tournament. There's hoops going on elsewhere throughout Lee County. I think at Hertz. It's going on also at Alico. I mean, check it out. Some good college hoop, men's and women's, going on all week long.
Miller and Moulton. We have 2 poll questions up.
Okay.
One is the best Thanksgiving pie. Pumpkin, sweet potato, pecan, or mincemeat. That was a late ad. And NFL players have been suspended 1 game for spitting on someone and for punching another player in the junk. Which is worse, spitting on someone or punching someone in the junk? Lee Sterling makes his picks next.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
This is really strange. I don't know. Is anybody in the chat room listening at all on the radio or the app as well? Because everything I'm getting on the record of the hour sounds like a jumbled mess. Like I can't even understand what we're talking about, and I recorded the whole show.
Mark, do you have 30 seconds or are you working?
What do you need?
No. It's if you're working, work.
I was trying to tell you I'm having huge problems with the podcast. So what is it you need?
Oh, no, then go.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was just going to talk about pies. That's all.
Right now, I don't care.
Right.
I've got a whole fiasco going on.
Okay.
I just want you to listen to this and tell me if this sounds as badly. I don't get this, if it's coming across the same way. Miller and we have two poll questions. The best one is pie. Thanksgiving, pumpkin, potato.
That's weird. That's weird. Everybody in Twitch is saying it sounded fine on two different radio stations. So,
because I also downloaded the hour from the station, and it comes out the same way. I have no idea.
Huh.
I don't know what to do because now I don't have a podcast.
Okay, I think we
Well,
could.
it's kind of important.
Well, but can we just explain technical difficulties for a day?
How? There's going to be no download. I mean, there's no way to explain it. All of a sudden, something's not up. It's kind of critical.
Morning.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Happy.
Yeah, you too. I got my Twitter back last night. Did you guys get a DM from me?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
You might have. You never know. I got a bunch of hosts got DMs to vote for me in some Apple's.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 on this Thanksgiving Eve, and we begin with one of our 5 guests on the show today. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. How many people over at your place for Thanksgiving dinner?
32, and we'll probably have another 15, 20 from the neighborhood stop by for the turkey bake. The turkey bake-off.
Wow.
32.
Yeah.
They all related?
Most, yeah. Then we always every year invite someone who doesn't have a home, to go to,
Right.
place to go to. That's what
awesome.
That's what Thanksgiving's all about.
Okay. Do I dare ask how many pounds of turkey then are being cooked?
I don't know, but it smells really good. It's a lot. I think it's 2 big turkeys. So I believe. That's
Both
why you have a
roasted,
double oven, right?
I was going to say both roasted. Are we smoking one? Are we frying one? Anything crazy?
So we used to smoke one, and my wife, about maybe 8-10 years into the marriage, tells me she and her side of the family don't like smoked. So okay.
All right.
So
got to do what you got to do. I understand. Do you like Thanksgiving weekend from a job standpoint? Do you find this to be a great weekend? It's rivalry weekend in college. Do you find that to be easier, harder? Curious.
I would say above average. Yeah, the rivalry, I think, like a game we're not even discussing. But for instance, I like Mississippi State. On paper, shouldn't even be able to compete with Ole Miss. But, you got the whole lane train situation. I mean, I'm like 95% sure he's going. Why would you issue a statement that you're going to release what's going on after the game? And rivalry is real important. I mean, you see some crazy lines, like Mississippi State shouldn't be just getting 7.5. Auburn shouldn't be getting just 5.5. Should be much higher.
All right. Well, let's get to the games that are on the docket this week. We've got, one rivalry game, one college big game, and then the 3 Florida pro teams. Let's start with Florida and Florida State. I've got it down to 1.5 right now. The Gators are favored. One team's gotten rid of their coach. The other team's upset that they're keeping theirs. I don't know how much that factors into this week, but what do you think, Lee?
I mean, flip a coin here. I mean, these 2 teams, Florida last week losing 31-0 at the half. Are you kidding me? I know Tennessee's pretty good, but that was embarrassing. Florida State hasn't won 2 years on the road. I mean,
I know. One's quit and one's bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to say being at home might be a little bit of the difference here. So the coin came up heads here, and Florida called it. Mike, I mean, at least Florida's moving on. Mike Norville, I mean, another season, at least there's hope. You always need hope, I feel. I'm going to take Florida here, 27-24.
All right. Canes and Pitt.
Yeah.
Miami moved up one spot in the poll. They're 12th. They're still on the outside looking in. They need a rousing win in a place that's been a bad spot for them at Pitt. Canes by 6.5.
I think Miami's in trouble. And I'm going to tell you the main reason, not on the field, it's weather. High at 36. These Miami kids, I've seen it time and time again. They just don't want to engage when it's cold. You know, I'm from down here. I played in 2 games where the weather was 40 degrees or colder. And my teams just didn't perform, didn't want to engage. Balls coming off the receiver's hand, just not used to it.
We did a Sun Bowl 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 55 when the game started.
I remember.
In the second quarter, it started snowing, and the Canes players looked at the sidelines like, we didn't sign on for this. And they were done.
Yeah. Oh, they all had coats on. I mean, huddling on the bench around the heaters. Here's also the problem. Pitt has a quarterback that's capable. Only other capable quarterback they really have faced since Notre Dame was Jennings. And not that he shot holes in him, but, you know, he was successful. And on the road, I just don't trust Mario here. If he has to make a decision, kicking a field goal or going for it. I mean, the book might tell you something, but Mario will blow it here. Hey, I'm rooting for Miami. You know, my dad was a team dentist. I went there, got my master's. My daughter was a cheerleader. I just don't trust him here. I think the point is going to be mute. I'm hoping they win the game, but I like Pitt here, 30-24.
To Sundays we go, and oh, what a game do we start with? The Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans Saints. If you want to see an NFL game, this is the game to go to for you. And I say that because NFL tickets are pretty expensive these days. And right now, just to check, yesterday it was under $50 in the lower bowl. Those got gobbled up, but you can still get lower bowl seats right now for $72, upper bowl for $40. The Dolphins are a 5.5-point favorite. They are trying desperately to screw up good draft position by winning games. Will they win and will they cover, Lee?
You left out the most important part, Mark. Parking is like $120 for the coveted parking passes. So since they built F1, that track, and the tennis center there, you got parking and you are gold. So if you want to pay $72, add on at least another 100 to walk about 1.5 miles, being what's called the yellow lot here. So I think Miami wins the game. I know they're coming off the post-Germany bye, and usually that's not a great spot here, but do you really want to trust the Saints? I mean, if you watch them last week, Tyler Shook running into running backs, play calling wasn't good. I've never thought Moore's this super play caller here. They're crawling along at 4.7 yards, not per carry, per snap here. Miami 24-14, win and cover.
All right. Jags have bounced back from the debacle fourth quarter in Houston with 2 big wins.
Yeah.
Now they go on the road, however, with a team that they have historically struggled with.
Yeah.
Titans showed some life in the second half against Seattle. Jacksonville, a 6.5-point favorite in Nashville.
How many times has Trevor Lawrence attempted to kill the point spread for Jags backers? I mean, the guy, I don't think I think they're going to move on from him if they can in the offseason. He's just not the guy that Liam Cohen wants here. You know, they had almost a 38-minute time of possession. They should have won that game easily here. Line is 7. I'm gonna say the Titans find a way, another backdoor cover here. I think they're going to be pretty good at it going down the stretch here, and I think the Jags running game is great, passing game not so great. Jags win this one 27-24.
And finally, Tampa Bay, who's struggling a bit right now. They've lost 3 in a row. They're a 3.5-point favorite over Arizona.
Arizona's really banged up on offense here. Defense is just trying to hold on, do their best here. Obviously, we all know about all the Bucs injuries. If they can get healthy, I mean, the schedule sets up, they can finish really strong and maybe get a bye. But I think they might be able to win out, even with all these injuries. So I think that special teams could play a big part in this game here. Arizona doesn't do the small things. Penalties when they can least afford them. That's the difference here. 6 points. I think the Bucs cover here. Maybe stretch their legs out, win this game 31-21.
All right, and we've got the line at 3.5. Game of the week.
Yep.
Boy, it's a really obscure one. Ohio State, Michigan.
Yep.
Lines around 9.5 or 10. The Wolverines getting the points at home. How do they get it?
Yep. Just call 800-400-9741. First, how about this? First 10 callers. Call 800-400-9741. We will give them the game for free. You want to get involved? Turkey Shootout, 15 games from Thursday all the way through Sunday. We've had a couple, never gone 14-1 or 15-0, had a couple 13-2, 12-3, and last year had 11-4 record on the promotion. So 15 games, $97. They're ready to go. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
800-400-9741, ParamountSports.com. You can follow Lee on X at Paramount Sports.
Lee, 2 big questions to get to before we let you go.
Okay.
Best Thanksgiving pie. Your choices are pumpkin, sweet potato, pecan, or mincemeat.
That's easy. Sweet potato pie.
All right. And finally, the more important question. I think the best poll question we've ever had in the history of this show.
Yep.
NFL players, look at the phones ringing already.
Wow.
NFL players have been suspended a game for spitting on another player and for punching a player in the junk. Which is worst, getting spit on or getting punched in the junk?
Probably punched in the junk.
I'm with you, Lee. David says spitting. He's Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com. Lee, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks.
You too, guys. Take care.
Remember, first 10 at 800-400-9741. Get the Buckeyes and the Wolverines for free. Is it me?
Yes.
Or
sorry.
Are very few people giving Michigan a chance?
No
year?
one's giving Michigan a chance, and they're at home.
How could they have witnessed what they witnessed last year in this game? An Ohio State team at home that was so much better than the Michigan team, an Ohio State team which would go on and win the national championship, get beat in this game. Why? Because it's Ohio State, Michigan, and happens.
Well, and David, one of the things every broadcast will talk about in a rivalry game, it's very important in a rivalry game that you've got to be able to run the ball against your opponent. Well, if you were to look at this game, what is the one thing Ohio State is probably the worst at?
Right. They're good, but they're not very good or great. And they're seemingly very good or great in every other aspect of the team. But running the ball, they're okay. They're pretty good.
And what is the one thing that Michigan's actually good at? Running the ball. I mean, that's what they hang their hat on. That's who they are. That's all they are.
Just no one thinks Michigan has a shot. Do you pay attention to college sports? Do you pay attention to this weekend in college football? Ever? Miller and Moulton. Our picks are next.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
And the two of you said, can I do it off of YouTube? Yeah, that means that I would have to listen to this show in its entirety, record it on another system, edit it, and then put it out. And I can assure everybody there's no way in God's green earth that's happening. But you're right, I could do it that way. So thank you for the suggestion. I'm just completely befuddled right now.
Sorry.
Well, if I screw up, I'm fine with screwing up when I know what I don't know what's going on. I don't like when I don't understand why this is happening. This doesn't make any sense. Everything I believe is the buttons are pushed the right way. Like when I watch Adobe, it's recording.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Seth Everett coming up, followed by Roy Cummings, Bud Elliott, Chris Perkins. We got a busy show on this Thanksgiving Eve. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We don't have a lot of time if we want to fit it all in one segment. And since you're the one with the most picks, you go.
All right, here we go. This is called chasing. This is what you're not supposed to do. I went 1-3-1 last week. I'm 10 games below 500. I'm making an effort to get above 500. You do the math. That's 11 games. Yep, 10 college, 1 pro. All right, here we go. I disagree with Lee wholeheartedly. Lee's not been that good on this show. I know he's an expert and blah, 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 blah. He does it for a living, blah, 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 blah. Give me Ole Miss -7.5. Give me the Dogs -13.5. Everybody can score on Georgia Tech. I'm taking A&M in their game against Texas, laying the 2.5. I heard David say Michigan. Everybody says Michigan has no chance. You want to know who else thinks that? Me. Give me Ohio State -9.5. The only non-rivalry game that I picked in college, BYU -17.5 against UCF. UCF is awful. They just are. I'm sorry. It doesn't work out that well for them. I'll take BYU laying the big number. I am taking the points in a couple of games, though. Give me Vandy and the quarterback that everybody's pulling for to at least get to New York for the Heisman. A lot of public sentiment and a lot of media sentiment going for Diego this week, trying to get him the lift that he needs to get to New York. Win this game, young man. You may just get there. I'll take the 3.5 in Vandy. I'm laying the 1.5 with Florida. Why? Why not? Auburn. I'll take the 6.5 with Auburn against Alabama. I think it's going to be a great Iron Bowl. Think Bama will win. I like the 6.5. I'll take the 21.5 with UCLA. Look, USC's hopes were dashed last week. They got to turn around and play a rivalry game. Will they win? Sure. Will they cover? I don't think so. Virginia Tech's the worst team in the country, or one of the worst in covering the spread. Do you really think they're going to cover the spread 2 weeks in a row? They covered it against the Canes. They won't cover it against Virginia. I'll lay the 8.5. And my turkey special, go Lions. I'll lay the 2.5 with Detroit at home. There you go. That's the Elite 11, the most picks that I've ever made in the history of this show.
Well, you didn't duck away from the big games. I'll give you that. I'm making 8 picks, 6 college, 2 pro. I am also taking the points with Michigan. And by also, I mean with, well, although You took Ohio State.
I
so
took
that
Ohio
really
State,
doesn't
so
make
no, you're
sense.
not also taking the points. You're going
All right.
to save the juice.
Yeah, I'm taking the 9.5. They've won 4 in a row, and I think the game will be competitive. I think it'll be low scoring. I am taking the points with Auburn, agreeing with Mark. The game's at Auburn. 6.5 is a lot of points. Alabama's one-dimensional. Auburn has a good defense. I think this will be a very competitive game. Thanksgiving, huge game. Navy wins. They're in the American Championship game. They will not win. Give me Memphis at home laying the 5.5. Nebraska without Raiola at quarterback. Can they score points against Iowa? And Iowa only has to beat them by 7? Give me Iowa Friday to win by more than 6.5 at Nebraska. Okay. Do I bet on the team that hasn't won on the road in 2 years but hasn't quit? Or do I bet on the team that has more talent and is at home but has quit? I'm going to take Florida State. How in the world? Don't talk to me about rivalry. Okay. The Gators didn't show up for a home game against Tennessee. You think all of a sudden, oh, this week they're going to play for what? Seriously, they're 3-8. What are they playing for? I'm going to take the Noles, who at least are playing to go to a bowl. I like the Cowboys to win straight up, and I get 3.5 against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. And I got a bad feeling. Man, I hope I'm wrong. I just got a feeling. Give me the Titans and the 6.5 against the Jags. The Jags are banged up. Just saying. It's a lot of points. They played a lot of close games this year. I think that's an upset alert game, to be honest. I'll take the points.
That's 7. I thought you said you had 8.
No, I had 8. Michigan, Auburn, Memphis, Iowa, Florida State. Oh, I'm sorry. I overlooked it because we agreed. Yeah, I'm with you. BYU needs to win big because they need to jump up a spot in the polls. All right. And UCF is awful on the road in conference. So along with Mark, I'm laying the 17.5 against UCF, who will not go bowling in Scott Frost's first year back. Sorry about that.
No problem. I thought I could still count, but I mean, everything's up for question right now, David. Everything. So 11 games for me, 8 for David. Take that, Moulton. Hit you where you live right there. Pelican Roofing of Florida text line is open. On the pie question, as much as I don't like it, every Thanksgiving we've had mincemeat pie, and we're from the South. So I don't know.
Wow.
Another person says this poll question is exactly why you're my favorite show. I would rather be spit on than hitting the ding-ding. And my mother-in-law always brings an apple pie. And then someone just says, Gators going to flop. I wouldn't retain a single staff member. So,
I mean, they quit. Do you think now all of a sudden this week they're going to go, well, I don't know. I mean, they're not, half that team's not Gators anymore. They've already made their plans. I can't explain last week's performance against Tennessee. I can't get over it. Florida's got the better roster. They do. But, I mean, when you quit, when you've already packed it in, what? Now you're going to rally for what? You don't have any pride left. You quit. You ended the season after 10 games. But hope for the Gators I'm wrong.
We'll see. I have no idea, David. I mean,
No.
You can't justify this pick either way. You can't. Like, you took Florida. You flipped a coin. Lee took Florida. He even said, I'm flipping a coin. No, Florida State hasn't won on the road in 2 years, and the Gators have quit, and they're both below 500. There is no justification either way. It's merely a hunch, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just take last week out of it. I know you're trying not to. I am just wondering, because and even the rivalry thing, but just so many of these players know one another. They're playing against guys that they know. That there a pride factor at some point? Can Billy G get him to say, hey, it's your last game here. We know a lot of you are leaving, but do you want to stink up the joint for the final game? I don't know. I really don't. Like, I would have loved to have taken Miami against Pitt, but I don't have the courage to take Miami in cold weather. Your point about the Sun Bowl. I know this is a bigger game for them and they shouldn't quit, but we've seen good Miami teams go to places like Pitt and lose before.
2017, Mark Richt's best team. They were 10-1. They went to Pitt. They were 10-0 actually when they went to Pitt. They got smoked. Yep. But the Gator situation is just remarkable. That team is 3-8. That's unbelievable. Seth Everett's next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This weekend, Artisans Unite, the artistry of fine jewelry.
And the artistry of fine dining at our favorite Sales in Naples.
With your Diamond District purchase of $2,500 or more, you'll receive $1,000 unforgettable dining experience at Sales.
Where flavors of Europe join and every detail is a masterpiece.
Celebrate brilliance in jewelry this weekend at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
This year during Thanksgiving week, Fort Myers takes the national stage, hosting not one but two elite women's college basketball tournaments, the Fort Myers Tip-Off and Coconut Hoops, both featuring Power 4 teams and nationally ranked programs. Few places in the country can showcase this level of talent. We're proud that Fort Myers is one of them. Don't miss your chance. For tickets, go to visitfortmyers.com/basketball. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Hey, Seth.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just getting over a cold.
That's too bad.
That sucks. Podcasts are up. Well, one of them is. The other one I don't understand. That's a crazy end to the Monday night. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, it was. Sorry, my mic wasn't on.
That's okay. That was bonkers. Dylan Larkin and Nico Heischer do not like each other.
Yeah, Larkin went nuts there at the end. I was not watching. I'm in a fight with Verizon and ESPN right now.
Oh.
Well, I canceled my ESPN Plus Hulu Disney thing when the YouTube thing happened.
Yeah.
Because I got ESPN Unlimited. Now the YouTube thing is back. I dumped Unlimited. I went to get my ESPN Plus again, and they have a deal on Verizon where it's only $10. And it says your next bill is scheduled to be $306. With the $10 add-on, your bill is scheduled to be $338. And I'm trying to figure out how 10 has become 32. And I was on the phone with Verizon for an hour and 15 minutes. I was directed to 5 different people, plus they brought in the ESPN Plus person on the phone. Yikes. So 6 people. An hour and 15 minutes, no one could explain to me why my bill was going up by that much. So I refused to add it until I can get a logical explanation.
Sure. Well, Dylan Larkin hates Nico Heischer and vice versa.
Well, I'm going to take Dylan Larkin's side because, well,
I'm not.
He's not a communist.
No, he's not. Although they're becoming popular these days.
Well, they sure are. It's a valid point there, Seth.
And that's just in New York City. But you know,
not to get into a big thing, but the Jews on my Facebook feed have no idea what to do.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Roy Cummings will join us then. Bud Elliott will join us in an hour. Chris Perkins, our final guest of the day in the Diamond District bonus hour. Seth Everett has moved up his weekly appearance, 20-plus minutes to join us now. He of Sports with Friends and Hall of Justice. You couldn't do that before we put you on the air? You couldn't there, blow your nose or whatever that was?
I'm getting over on the man. It's going to happen about 6 more times this segment.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, well, germs don't catch through the StreamYard.
No,
but you do have a mute button.
Right. Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice, 2 terrific podcasts. And remember, he's our technological expert that we have on the show.
Zoom doesn't have that.
A podcast called Tech Time or something like that.
But Zoom doesn't have that mute button. That mute button's clutch. All right, good.
Yeah.
Wait for StreamYard.
By the way, Seth releasing both podcasts this week.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Big week.
Yeah. Follow Seth on X at Seth_Everett.
And they're both out today because it's the biggest travel day of the year. So it's a good day for podcasts.
Well played.
Well, even better to know that I'm unable to post any today because our system is not working properly.
Well, you should call Verizon.
It's a great point, Seth. Thank you for that. You would have had to have listened to the break to hear me talk about the 5 people from Verizon that I talked to earlier this week in the hour and 15 minutes I spent on the phone to get nothing done.
And he'll never get back. He'll never get it back.
No. Seth, I guess I'm going to start then with the question that I think is the best poll question we've ever had in the history of this show.
Oh, okay.
And you are someone that I would like your answer on it. Okay. Because NFL players in the last 2 weeks, Seth, 2 different players have been suspended for a game.
Yeah.
One spit on another player. The other player hit a player in the junk. What's worse, spitting on someone or getting punched? I mean, getting spit on or getting punched in the junk? What's worse?
Oh, they're both deplorable.
Yes, but you only can pick one, and you have to pick one.
And you can only feel really one. So I guess I'm going to take spitting, although I find that reprehensible. I'm going to probably say spitting.
So spitting is worse.
Yeah, I think. No, spitting. If I had to choose which one I'd want done to me.
No. The question, it's very simple. You're confused. What's worse, getting spit on or getting punched in the junk?
Oh, getting punched is no. Getting spit on is worse, but I would like it better because it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
Where's that button?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, from Seth Everett and Sports with Friends and Hall of Justice. All righty then. Since you're sick, does this mean you're going to be alone on Thanksgiving?
No. I'm not sick. I'm fine.
You just said you were sick.
I was. It's at the end. It's the end of it. It's just a little coughing. It's okay.
You sound very stuffed up, I have to admit. Okay.
That's all right.
Who are the family members?
Early in the morning.
Who are you going to get sick this Thanksgiving?
Right. Who are the family members?
Well, my one daughter got me sick, so she, it's payback's coming.
Gotcha.
And I have a big day today. That Players Era Championship. Syracuse plays Iowa State at 1. Arsenal is in the Champions League playing Bayern Munich at 3. And then I'm going with my daughters to Devils Blues at 7. We have a busy sports day today.
Playing one of, I think, the 5 teams with losing records in the NHL. Do you have a problem with it? You're an NHL guy. David and I were talking about this. When you look at the standings, there's either 5 or 6 teams that have a losing record in the entire league. We both think that that's awful. Like, we don't think that that's a good look. That we actually think, and David, I've said this long before I ever did a show with David, that because I worked in leagues that had shootouts, that 3 points should be awarded for a win, 2 for an overtime or shootout win, and 1 for a loss, and 1 for your shootout loss or your overtime
100%,
loss.
100%.
Because it skews what people think of their teams. This is like adding teams to the NCAA tournament so more coaches can feel good about themselves.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I understand the other argument, which the other argument is it helps competitive balance and it makes more teams think that they're good. And if more teams think that they're good, then more people will like it and enjoy. And the league is the most competitive of any of the 4 sports. And the fact of the matter is that there are very few really, really bad teams. And I think what it does is it tells you that if you're a good team, you still have 60 games left and you have a long season. And most of the nights you're going to be playing somebody that's pretty darn good. The sport is fantastic. It's in a great place right now.
The Philadelphia Flyers and the Florida Panthers have the same number of points.
Yeah.
The Flyers have won 5 games in regulation out of 21.
But they've lost a bunch of overtime games.
Well, they've won a bunch of overtime and shootout games. See, that's the thing. They have 6 overtime and shootout wins and only 5 wins in regulation. Meanwhile, the Florida Panthers are tied with the second most number of regulation wins in the league. They
Right.
don't have a single overtime win. They have one shootout win.
Right.
So in 60 minutes, the only team that's been proven to be better than the Panthers are the Avs. Okay, I don't see why they should be tied in the standings.
It's a quirk. Yeah, you're right. So you want to have 3 points for a regulation win, 2
Damn
points
right.
for an overtime win?
And shootout, right. If we go beyond 60 minutes, whatever happens, that's worth a point.
By
Two
the way,
versus
do that
one.
3-on-3 for 10 minutes minimum. Expand that. Make that longer.
No, they want to get to the shootout. I mean, to be honest,
I'm
they'd
not a
rather have
fan.
the shootout. They are. But the whole point, and this was explained to me by a hockey coach that I worked with many years ago when I first got into the business, who said, if you think about the tie, back when we had ties in hockey, it was 2 points for a win. So what does the tie do? Each team gets a point. You split the 2 points.
Right. Now you have extra points.
Now you're giving out an extra point. You're penalizing teams that win in regulation because teams can get a point. So I'm with David. I've been this way. It usually doesn't change the standings much, but you look at the case of the Florida Panthers, it would change them immensely. So
100%. Yeah. And it gets to the point of where, sometimes you have mismatches, but the reality of it is it's designed to make more teams feel like they're in it. And that's a good thing for the sport.
Yeah, I don't think it is, actually. I think it's better if you had – I know it's not in terms of fans and then this
fans and tickets, and it's a gate-oriented league.
And it's true. It is a league that depends more on the ticket at the gate than any other, so it's probably why they'll never change it. I just don't think and listen, it has benefited my team recently. For years, the Rangers were a phenomenal overtime and shootout team. A, they have a terrific goalie, and B, they had Matt Zuccarello for many years. He never missed in the shootout. Yeah. I mean, you got three guys. He was guaranteed a goal. The Rangers stole many a point between their goalie and one or two snipers in a shootout. I just think you should be rewarded. Listen, Seth, you have a terrific hockey team that you root for. They're very good. I think they're one of the three best in the East. The Panthers have more regulation wins than the Devils.
Right.
I think that should be rewarded.
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand what you're not saying is not wrong. I'm just saying I think I know why they do it, and I think what they do is, it is what it is. But sports doing fine. That it's one of those things. They don't think it's broken.
All right, let me attack another one of your teams. Not really attack. I want to question you. Last week
can't shoot.
Why? No, I don't care about them right now. I'm talking about your soccer team. Your football team.
Okay.
You mentioned Arsenal's playing Bayern Munich in a Champions League game. Last week, you were very upset because Gabriella Sabatini got hurt in a game.
Gabriel Magalhaes, yes. In a Brazil friendly or
right. I just remember Gabriella Sabatini. That I equated that to the tennis player.
Yeah.
And okay, so this Gabrielle player got hurt playing for Brazil in a World Cup qualifier, and you were bent out of shape.
Oh yeah,
because this guy had the audacity to play for his country instead of playing for Arsenal.
Everybody wants to play for the country.
Now Arsenal's playing Bayern Munich in one of these made-up events, this Champions League stuff.
Yeah.
What's more important to you? No, I'm serious. This champion, if one of your good players for Arsenal were to get hurt today, and that would leave that player out for a couple of months, and maybe Arsenal would fall from the top of the table in the Premier League because of a guy playing in the Champions League. Is that okay by you because they're still playing for, like, what's more important in your, because you obviously don't like the guys playing for their country. So rank them for me. Is it the Premier League first, the Champions League second, and then obviously this World Cup stuff, that's just junk? Or is it the Champions League more important to you than the Premier League? I'm being 100% serious when I ask.
Okay, so from the strategy of what happens is you enter these two competitions, and they accommodate each other, and you can play for both competitions. And the idea is if you don't win one, you could win another, and then at the end of the season, you have a trophy and a banner. And so that's the idea. The Champions League is a very prestigious league. It's not a BS league. So the idea is that you play in these both, and you try to win both, and you try to get what they call the double. And very few teams do that. Man City did it a couple of years ago, and these are big games. So while I do not want anybody to get hurt, this counts. This is a regular Arsenal
What's
game.
more important to you, Champions League or
Premier League? I think it's harder. I think the Premier League is harder to win. The Champions League, you play less games, and then it goes into a World Cup format once you get into the medal round, which is in like February. And it goes on, and it kind of drags a little bit.
What about
Premier
soccer?
League is
What about
like,
soccer doesn't go on and on, Seth?
but the Champions League is you play 19 teams 2 times, so you play 38 games, and it's pretty grueling. It's pretty amazing. Obviously I want to win either one of them. I remember last year when Liverpool pulled away from Arsenal. They couldn't win the Premier League anymore. They were still in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And so your season still has something to play for. It's not a bad thing.
This is the NBA's version of the cup that they're playing now.
Right, but the difference is in the Champions League, you're playing teams from all over Europe. In the NBA, you're just playing the Charlotte Hornets again.
I got you. I mean, if they would add some G League teams into it, then it would be a real
right,
cup.
or NBA Europe. If they really want to make NBA Europe and they want to have a mid-season tournament where they're playing in for like global supremacy, that has value. That makes sense. You're muted there, David.
Yeah,
There's a mute button.
Really? Thank you. There's a problem though, is that the other NBA Europe and what have you is not equal to.
Correct.
Okay,
And,
so
and in
you
this,
can't
it
play
is-
it.
Right. In this, it's equal. Like Bayern Munich is
Okay.
a really good team in Bundesliga.
No. We get it. Mark just asked you though. So eventually, you're champions over Premier.
No,
No,
these
the
Premier
other
over
way
champions.
around. Premier League.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
very
I got to
close.
be honest,
1
and
and 1A.
I know they're paid a fortune, but I'm a little surprised that the soccer player is willing to go along with this. There's a big issue in tennis right now. The tennis players are saying the season is too long. There's too many events. We need to cut out like 10 events. This is ridiculous. We're playing year round, and if we don't play, we get penalized. And I'm a little surprised, quite frankly, that the soccer players, okay, who are pretty soft, okay, are willing to play this much soccer.
Yeah, they play a lot. And it's a long season, and it's the shortest off season. They play constantly.
I'm a little surprised. All right, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice, go.
All right, they're both out today. First of all, Sports with Friends is Kevin Ingram, the Nashville sportscaster. He hosted a show, The Wake Up Zone, that I made more appearances on than even you guys over the years. I was on there every week for about 15 years. It used to be Kevin Ingram, Frank Wycheck was the host with this guy, Mark Howard, and both Mark and Frank have passed away. And Kevin's the only surviving member of a radio show that I was a big part of. Kevin's a great guy. He's now the play-by-play voice of Vanderbilt and a great dude, a really great dude. Kevin Ingram is Sports with Friends. And Hall of Justice is a show called Wednesday. It's a Netflix show based on the Addams Family. And Ralph Garman, who is one of my favorite podcasters, is going through some health issues, and he's had to take 2 weeks off from his daily podcast. But he recorded this podcast beforehand, so we figured for Ralph's audience, which is pretty plentiful, we're going to air my conversation with Ralph Garman about the show Wednesday on the Hall of Justice, the biggest travel day of the year.
I've heard that before. He's Seth Everett, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. Follow him on X at Seth_Everett. Seth, to you and yours, happy Thanksgiving. Be well, buddy.
Same to you guys. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy all the sports.
Yes. Miller and Moulton. The sports continues. Roy Cummings to talk to Tampa Bay Bucs on the other side, but Elliott in 45 minutes.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I'm working on something, Aurora. Sorry. And texting with a buddy. So.
Morning, guys. How we doing?
Morning. How are you?
Thanksgiving.
And to you as well.
You guys off tomorrow? I
Yes.
assume?
And Black Friday.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, we don't treat ourselves like that very often.
Well, you should. You've earned it.
Well, we agree.
Yeah.
We'll ask you on the air about your holiday plans and
Okay.
what have you.
All righty.
You've been home on Thanksgiving for a while now, haven't you? Like, between,
Yes.
between hockey and the NFL, when you were a daily beat writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to miss a lot of them.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
2 down, 2 to go. That's hours of Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Also 2 down, 3 to go in terms of our wonderful guest list on this Thanksgiving Eve. All our guests joining us on the American Paint Supplies Hotline, your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. Roy Cummings joins us now. An early happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. How are you?
I am good, and happy Thanksgiving to you and all of yours.
Well, I don't think we've ever talked about this. Big family, small family? What do you do for Thanksgiving?
I have a very small family of what's left. Just my brother, my twin brother, who lives in Memphis. But at my family, my son and his girlfriend will be here, along with my 2 brothers-in-law and my mother-in-law. So they'll all come here, and we'll live it up and force them to watch football.
Are you forced? Now that's a great way to put it. Are you forcing them to watch football, or are they willing participants to watch football, or is it Thanksgiving and they feel obligated?
I think it's a little bit of the latter too. My one brother-in-law for sure doesn't mind. My son certainly loves it. I mean, he's probably betting on the games. And his girlfriend is just bonkers for sports, which is great. But my wife's not a fan at all. It's just on. Same with my mother-in-law and my one other brother-in-law. He's like he wouldn't know a football from a hockey puck.
Wow. It's funny because Mark's wife's a big sports fan and my wife is not. So, we've got the dichotomy covered on the show. We'll get into it some other day. I did not realize you're a twin.
I am a twin. Yes.
20 plus years. Wow. Roy Cummings.
Well played, Roy. Well played.
R. Cummings, FHCN is how you follow the twin on X.
How much heat's Todd Bowles getting right now, Roy? I mean, we talked about that when they were 5-1, people were still giving them a hard time. And then it seemed as if for a couple of weeks they laid off of Todd Bowles. And now after what's been 3 losses and defensively 3 pretty rough performances, the Bucs fans that are listening to us, whether they're in Tampa, Southwest Florida, or wherever, they're hot again at Bowles. How much heat is he getting locally?
Well, he's getting a lot, and I think finally, deservedly so. Look, at 5-1, you can't argue with success, really. I mean, I saw flaws in this team, several on the defensive side of the ball. Some are a result of where they draft and just can't get certain guys. Some are a result of his schemes. So I could, I sort of, I thought it was too much. But now, and the other day, guys, there were times during that game when I said, this is the kind of game that gets you fired as a head coach because you're inept. on every side of the ball. You can't throw it downfield. You can't protect your quarterback. You can't get after the quarterback. You can't defend against the pass, which, by the way, people are finally starting to figure that out. I've been saying that for weeks, guys, in the last year. You can throw against this team. Chris Sims found it out, and he was all over it the other night on Sunday Night Football as well. And, so there are a lot of areas here where you say, okay, you know what? Maybe you can do better. I mean, Baker Mayfield and the offense have covered up a lot of flaws. And the fact that they're on their third coordinator can't be dismissed. That's a big part of this. It's very difficult to keep going through coordinators, and they've done it successfully. But they've done it because they have so much skill and talent on that side of the ball, and because Baker Mayfield's, been a magician. But now that he's hurt and compromised, you're seeing that this team is not anywhere near as strong as it appeared at 5-1. It looked good then because Baker and the offense were covering up a lot of flaws.
Well, you can't hold the coordinator thing against Bowles because the last two, first off, he hired, and then they were good enough to get head coaching jobs. That actually should be a feather in his cap. But listen, we see it in Philadelphia, Roy. I mean, Sirianni has missed on a couple offensive coordinators, and the jury's out as to whether or not, this one is going to work out. I mean, sometimes it's and also coordinators grow into jobs. I mean, is this just you combine injuries with a new offensive coordinator? And then, quite frankly, if we're going to blame Bowles for everything, do we have to blame the GM, who never gets blamed for anything, for some of the guys on defense who have been there a while who can't perform?
Yeah, look, I do believe, Jason Light certainly deserves some of the blame here, but not much, in my opinion, because, again, where they're drafting, I think they've done okay with some of the guys they've got. Okay, Chris Braswell hasn't turned into anything yet, but, you're picking 26th overall, 19th overall. Very hard to find players there that are elite level. But, it just seems to me, and you're right about the coordinator thing, and I think the best thing that could happen to the Buccaneers is, not to have – I don't know that he's a great coordinator, but if they lose Josh Grizzard, now they're going on their fourth. Baker likes him, and I think, to be honest, I think he realizes that they can't protect Baker Mayfield, and that's the reason they're not throwing downfield. Everything is a short pass. It's quick. I mean, they're on him immediately. Nobody can protect this guy. And, they've had injuries up front too. So I think the injuries are the biggest thing. And one thing I've always been taught is it's very hard to really evaluate a team when you're playing a lot of backups. And they are. They're playing a lot of backups at a lot of places. And they're backups for a reason. Yeah, we talk about depth and you need it in this league. It's a next man up league. But at the end of the day, they're backups for a reason. And if you're not playing the best teams in the league without your best players, which the Bucs have been, that's what they've been doing here the last 2-3 weeks, it's going to show up, and it's showing up.
All right. The other part of this, and it could be injuries, it could be a lot of things, but Ibuka, who you and I both wanted them to draft, you and I were both pounding the table to draft Ibuka back in April. We were right. And in the first 5 weeks, Roy, we looked like really smart guys. And I think we still are going to look good long-term. But has he hit a rookie wall? Is this because there's been no Mike Evans? I mean, can he truly be a number one? Because his production's dropped a little bit, and could be a lot of things. What is it to you?
I think he's a rookie. At the end of the day, he's a rookie. Teams have adjusted to him a little bit. He's going to have to work a little bit harder to get open, make sure he's a little bit more disciplined in his routes, catch the ball. He's had a few drops, and that's hurt him. And they're big drops too. He's their guy on third down, it seems. And so yeah, I think that's a big part of it. For me, that's what it is. The talent is there, the character is there. They did not miss on that pick. I won't say that. Look, you're asking a rookie to play the role of a Hall of Famer right now, be your number one receiver because Mike Evans isn't there, and Chris Godwin is horribly compromised, and I'll be surprised if Chris Godwin plays another year, guys. I think he might be done.
Wow. What a development that would be. Running back coming back?
Yeah, he'll be back. He's supposed to be back against Arizona. So I don't believe Todd Bowles would say that if he wasn't confident of it. I think he was close to being ready last week, but they figured, hey, Sean Tucker's coming off a really good game. Let's give this kid the rock and see what he can do again. And he did all right. I think the running back room is fine. It's one of their strengths. But Bucky Irving comes back, and hopefully he's focused. I don't know what this issue is off the field. I don't think it's much, but there's something there. But hopefully he's going to be good and solid, because they're going to really need the running game now. Because I don't know that Teddy Bridgewater's a solid backup, but again, he's a backup, guys, and I don't know that he can do the heroics that Baker Mayfield seems to perform every week.
All right. You look at the Bucs schedule the rest of the way. You look at Carolina's schedule the rest of the way. It's certainly an edge Bucs. I mean, Carolina, from the looks of things, unless something goes bat blank crazy, Roy, Carolina will have to sweep Tampa to win the division. Tampa wants more than that, though. I mean, they'd like to get to that 11-win mark. They'd like to maybe get a 3 seed, not a 4 seed, and have to play the best wild card team. Can they at this point? Or is it just a matter that this team's too banged up right now? They're just pretty average.
You're going to hate my answer, because it's going to be the greatest cliche of all time in the NFL. They really have to look at it one game at a time. They can't even be thinking about 11 wins. They need to be thinking about 1 win right now. They need to be thinking about getting through the first quarter without getting banged up, without, falling behind. This team's, fallen into a horrible, horrible rut. And they're having trouble, scoring, keeping the other team off the board, everything. They need to take this thing literally one series at a time on both sides of the ball and on special teams, and take it from there and adjust accordingly. They can't be looking too far ahead of anything, because right now everything is a bit of a mess.
Baker's not going to play this week, is he?
I'd be shocked. I don't think he can play. I think you're looking at a grade 2 sprain of the left shoulder. And my twin brother is a physical therapist, and that's not good. You saw him carrying that shoulder. He was really favoring it. I'm surprised he went out for that second series after he went into the tent. I think that was a mistake, but that's how desperate they are. They're still desperate, but I think they're smarter about it now. If you give them a week, maybe 2. Look, you went out and brought in Teddy Bridgewater for a reason.
Yep.
Kyle Trask is with another organization now for a reason. That reason is this right here. You thought that this is the guy who would carry you for a week or two if you needed him to carry you for a week or two. Well, guess what? You're right in that window where you figured it would happen. And the schedule's favorable. Give Baker the time he needs to get healthy, because you need his heroics. As I said at the beginning of the segment, guys, this is Baker Mayfield's team. The reason they are where they are is because of Baker. Nothing else.
He's Roy Cummings, R. Cummings FHCN, so you can follow him on X, Bay News 9 and Miller and Moulton, talking the Bucs. Roy, we are thankful for you. We have been for 20 plus years, separate and together. And thank you. All the best to you and your family, and force as much football down their throat as you can.
I will. And I'm as thankful for you guys as you are for me, because it's, as you said, it's been a great partnership, and I look forward to it every week, guys.
Roy Cummings joining us on Miller and Moulton. We'll make our picks on the NFL slate coming up. Bud Elliott to talk college football. Chris Perkins, the Dolphins. Some of you may be off today, and we're happy for you. We are working. We've lined up a show here on Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Our NFL picks are next.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Remember, it's a short segment, and we've got no buys, so we're going to kind of have to fly through this.
That's fine.
Somehow I was able to that guy at B downloaded the first hour, got it right. I was able to download the second hour. It's still not recording properly. I don't know what the hell's going on with Adobe, but I've got the first 2 hours up.
Sorry about that.
Certainly not your fault. And Aurora, I really was unable to really follow the chat room. If they're scared of you, then it says a lot about the men in the chat room. That's all I'm
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
A very busy Thanksgiving Eve, and we've said it throughout, but we are so thankful for you. Without you, we don't have a show. And not just you, the listeners, but all our sponsors. We owe everything to you. And, you know, kind of like when we celebrate the military and we say thank you is not enough. We feel the same way, that thank you is not enough to our listeners and sponsors, but we are very grateful for you, and we wish you all a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
And nothing says thankful like sponsoring Miller and Moulton. If you're looking for a great opportunity to market your company, we have a lot of people that we could let you talk to about how well it's worked for them. And there are spots for you. The new year's coming. New budgets are upon us. Add Miller and Moulton to your portfolio. Text me now. 21,000 is the number. The keyword's Miller. All you got to say is, I want to sponsor the show too. We'd love to have you.
Or you could say, I want to be a sponsor, and you could do it by answering the poll question. What's worse, being spat on or being punched in the junk?
Punched in the junk right now, leading 52% to 48%.
Mark is a punched in the junk guy. I think getting spit on is about the worst thing you could do to another human being that doesn't involve a weapon.
Well, punched in the junk. I'm just saying.
I know. I got you.
All right. The other poll question is your best Thanksgiving pie: pumpkin, sweet potato, pecan, or mincemeat. Right now, pumpkin beating pecan. We've got to pick NFL games. It's a short segment, so we kind of got to try to hustle through this as best we can. Green Bay at Detroit. David, I took Detroit, laid the 2.5, so you know I'm taking the Lions. Who you got?
Yeah, I should have as well. I like the Lions.
You took Dallas. You said Dallas is winning straight up.
Yep.
I disagree. I'm taking Kansas City. I will live and die with Patrick Mahomes. I've been dying more often than not. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Joe Burrow comes back. Is it enough for the Bengals?
Could be. They're not the same with Lamar less than 100%, but I'll take Baltimore till proven otherwise.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Chicago at Philly. The tough part of the Bears' schedule is coming. Philadelphia coming off of the loss. I don't believe the Eagles lose 2 in a row. Give me Philadelphia on Black Friday.
They're a 7-point favorite. Nobody believes the Bears are going there to win. Give me the Eagles.
Jacksonville at Tennessee. Lee Sterling kind of said a not so fast, my friend, here on Jacksonville. He took Tennessee in the points. I'm taking the Jags on the road, David.
I think the Jags win, but I don't think they cover.
Atlanta at the Jets. If they could dismiss this game, they probably would, but someone's got to get a better draft pick. I say the Jets win at home, David.
I'm going to take Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. Kirk's playing for a job. If not Atlanta, somewhere else. Hell, that somewhere else could be the Jets.
So it's an open tryout. I was thinking that all night long watching East Carolina and Michigan State play yesterday. Every time an East Carolina player played hard defense, I'm like, maybe he's trying out for a transfer for next year. Rams at Carolina. Carolina got any shot to you? I say no.
A bunch of injuries. They lost both their corners and now a safety suspended. No, this would be top 3 upsets of the year. Rams.
New Orleans at Miami. You can go for less than $50 if you want to attend the game in person. I don't know why you would, but I still think the Dolphins win.
3 in a row for the Dolphins, and everybody comes back, and we want you to leave.
Who you got?
I just said.
The Dolphins, but we want you to leave.
Okay, all right. Arizona at Tampa Bay. We know how banged. We just spent time with Roy talking about how banged up the Bucs are. I think the Bucs are going to beat Arizona, however. Arizona is just as banged up as Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay better win this game.
You're right. They better. A 3.5-point spread indicates to you how worried they are about the Bucs, though. I don't think they lose 4 in a row, but I think it's close.
San Francisco at Cleveland. This is an interesting game. This shouldn't be. Shedeur Sanders getting his second start. Obviously, he won last week. He's very confident, but the Niners are the better team. Give me the Niners.
I'm taking the Browns. Short week, travel, 1:00 game, could be impacted by weather. Myles Garrett dominates. I'm taking.
There's nobody for San Francisco that can block him, by the way.
I don't
Houston
know
at Indianapolis. This is a game right here. David, Indianapolis losing last week may have been the best thing that happened to them. I think they win because of what they tasted last week, although I'm not that confident.
Well, one of the Colts players said that, Mark, those very words. He says this will be the best thing that ever happens to us. Daniel Jones needs to step up, quite frankly. And they got to block Houston's line. This revamped offensive line has done a great job all year. This is the ultimate test. I'll take the Colts at home. I don't think the Texans can score enough.
Minnesota at Seattle. Sam Darnold against his old team there. They're 10.5-point favorites against the Vikings. I'll take Seattle. They're the second best team, maybe the second best team in the NFC right now.
I'll take Seattle as well. Probably going to be the backup for the Vikings. And there have been a few Vikings fans who have wanted him to start for a few weeks.
Buffalo at Pittsburgh. Both of these teams have a lot of flaws. I think Pittsburgh has more. I'll take the Bills.
I'll take the Steelers. The Steelers were very good offensively against the Bears. Okay, makes you wonder if they're as well off or better with Mason Rudolph. Give me the Steelers at home. I am down on the Bills defense. Don't believe in them.
Vegas at the Chargers. I think we're all down on Vegas. I'm going to take the Chargers. My love affair, it's done, but I still have common sense.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are down on the Raiders. I mean, he's fired the special teams coach and the offensive coordinator. There aren't many more people to get rid of there, Pete. Chargers.
By the way, Pete, you're the guy that picked a lot of these players. I mean, just for what it's worth, you picked wrong. Denver at Washington. Boy, I wish Washington had their quarterback and was healthy and we could watch this game with two young quarterbacks go at one another. But the fact of the matter is one team's really good, has an excellent defense. The other team's injured and has a horrible defense. I'll take the Broncos.
Isn't the very good team also coming off a bye?
Yes.
Give me the Broncos.
And finally, we'll talk more about it on Monday, but the Monday night game is the Giants and the Eagles. The Giants play everybody tough. Hell, the Giants may have a double-digit lead heading into the fourth quarter. All that means is the Patriots will win.
Yeah, I don't know how much more we have to talk about it. I mean, I think the matter is, will Jameis and the boys cover? But it would be shocking if the Giants, who haven't won a road game in 2 years, go into New England and beat a team that's won 9 in a row.
Right. The Patriots are 7.5-point favorites. I want to remind you again, Seattle is a 10.5-point favorite against Minnesota. 10.5.
So we disagree on 4, which has become a pattern here. We had the 1 week where we disagreed on 7, but 4 has become the number. 2 weeks ago, you swept all 4. Last week, I swept all 4. So
you are up 3 on the season.
So you have the Chiefs, I have the Cowboys. You have the Jets at home, I have the Falcons. You have the Niners, and I have the Browns. That's my flyer. And you have the Bills, I have the Steelers.
Yeah, not a lot of flyers on my list, so you know that probably is a bad move in the NFL. So those are our straight-up NFL picks. It's rivalry week in college football. It's the greatest week of the year in college football. There's a lot riding on so many of these games. The Egg Bowl has probably, David, when has the Egg Bowl had this much significance? In so many ways. Obviously, Ole Miss has to win to get in. What's Lane doing after this game? I mean, if Lane loses this game, is he still the hottest coach in the world? Probably, but there's a lot riding on the damn Egg Bowl.
Right. It almost had this much riding on it in 2014, but both teams couldn't finish the job. And heading into this weekend, Alabama was in control in the West. But yes, biggest Egg Bowl. Never has either one of these teams had this much on the line. Mississippi State made one SEC championship game under Jackie Sherrill in the 90s, I believe. But no, this is you could argue on a national perspective, this is the biggest Egg Bowl in, 40 years.
We'll talk about that and everything rivalry week with Bud Elliott. He's next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This year during Thanksgiving week, Fort Myers takes the national stage, hosting not one but two elite women's college basketball tournaments, the Fort Myers Tip-Off and Coconut Hoops, both featuring Power Four teams and nationally ranked programs. Few places in the country can showcase this level of talent. We're proud that Fort Myers is one of them. Don't miss your chance. For tickets, go to visitfortmyers.com/basketball. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
$4 a.m. to cook, Aurora. That's early. I've got to be honest with you. What time would you normally have Thanksgiving dinner if you're starting cooking at 4? I was going to push the meal up this year to like 3 o'clock. I pushed it back to 4. I want to watch the whole Lions game. I got to be honest with you. That's really what it boils down to. We'll have the idea is for an 8. What my best guess is. And I check it on chat. I check everything. I get very nervous when it comes to cooking, but it says 4.5 to 5 hours for an 18-pound stuffed bird. So you obviously want it sitting for a little bit. You got to make all the gravy and all that crap. So I'm hoping to have the bird in at 10. That gets it done at 3. So you eat at noon. Oh, wow. Is that early? Are you Southern, Aurora? I mean, are you born in the South, or are you a Northerner who eats that early? Everybody has different times. Midwest Catholic family. I resemble those remarks.
Yeah, really.
I did brine the turkey. Dry brine, already on yesterday, Empire. Went with the dry brine, applied yesterday. Where's our hope with Bud? I sent it to everybody. So cleaned the greens yesterday. That was an event. I had a lot of greens.
Really?
What do you say, Bud? he doesn't have men yet. No, we go with Pinot Noir for Thanksgiving. We don't do the Beaujolais. It's not my favorite, nor my wife's. Good morning, bud. Oh, he's still not hearing us. Are you hearing us yet? Can you hear us now? Bud, can you hear us?
You guys got me? Yep.
Okay.
Cool. What y'all up to?
Just, a little bit of work before the long weekend begins.
I'm
my
telling
favorite. I love a 3-day work week, bud.
I do not disagree.
Now, how many shows will you guys do this week? Because obviously, rivalry week, it's a huge week for you guys.
Yeah. So we did one Monday, we did 2 yesterday, and we will have 1 at 11 today, the Locks Pod, and then we will do Saturday night like normal.
Okay.
So no Thursday, no Friday show. If Lane pulls some wild stuff on Friday, then I think we're in trouble because everybody is like traveling or kind of has family in town or whatever. So it's gonna be tough.
I got to find it now, bud. I could be wrong. I thought you said something fairly interesting on X the other day that got people fired up, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh, let me see. Oklahoma related?
Yeah,
or
I think it was Oklahoma related.
Yeah, they're very confident they can just force turnovers every game.
And you maybe not so much.
Well, I mean, if they could, why did they do it against Oklahoma? Right?
Against who?
Against Ole Miss.
Right.
But I mean, I just tend to think I think they're really good on defense. I think on offense they are, just very
above
very
average.
Very below average.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're talking about putting up like under 300 yards consistently, and not really because of pace.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. That's the Diamond District bonus hour. That's when Chris Perkins will join us to talk Dolphins, who are looking to make it a 3-game winning streak and are expected to. But it's best college football weekend of the year. It's certainly rivalry week and weekend. And so who better to talk about it than Bud Elliott? He of 24/7 Sports. Let's see. Cover 3. Nolecast, CBS. Follow him on X at Bud Elliott 3, 2 L's, 2 T's, the number 3. You got anything else?
No, but Nolecast is we're not winding down. We're just kind of slowing down a little bit. Just told the audience, hey, we're going to match the energy and the support the football program's putting in. So we're going to.
So see you in August?
No, I mean, we're going to go from 75, 80 episodes to probably 30 for the year.
Okay.
All right.
Talk a little more bigger picture stuff. I just I can't pretend that they're serious about football right now. To be honest. So
wow, I like it.
We always try to say, if we wouldn't want to listen to the episode, don't put it out. Right. And kind of let that be our guiding principle. And I wouldn't want to listen to what we're putting out right now.
So then you would have fired Norvell. From the sounds of the way you're talking, it sounds like you're disgusted with the program and what they have going forward. Am I reading too much into the tone of your voice, bud?
No, I don't think you're reading too much. I mean, ultimately, I think the statement they put out, the moves that I anticipate they're going to make with some of the front office stuff, it feels extremely cosmetic and fake, right? But it's easy to sell, hey, we're going to totally revitalize with an NFL style front office and blah, 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 blah. Is the new head coach going to want to report to that structure? Do we really do we really think that can work in college football where you have the head coach making 15 or 20x the GM? In what world do you have actual power over somebody who makes that much more money than you do, right? So it just doesn't seem like we're really ready for that as a sport. And yeah, I just think it's something like they had to find some kind of change to sell. They didn't want to spend the money to fire Norvell. They may not have confidence in the AD to make the hire. So I get all that. So they're going to punt on next year basically and go with a new front office structure, which I think is just kind of total BS, to be honest.
No analysis. 6 seconds. Gut feeling right now. Lane stay.
LSU.
Okay. My gut is Florida, and Mark is
my gut's Florida. I thought he was staying forever, and I've thought Florida since he gave the evasive comments last week.
I will say, like, people at Auburn really thought he was coming last time, and he may have told them he was coming, right? So this kind of makes it hard to read because of track record.
Yes. Okay. Let's get to rivalry weekend. So if Michigan could beat last year's Ohio State team, there's a clear path to win this year, right? Ohio State has not proven they can run the ball against a good, never mind better than that, run defense. So, okay, it may be the best passing offense in college football, but if Michigan knows that's all you're going to do, they can defend this, can't they?
I mean, look, in theory, yeah. But last year, they didn't really have to defend the passing offense very much, right? Like they kind of baited Ohio State into running the football a ton. Try to like play bully ball into the best defensive tackle combo in the country, and that really didn't work very well for them. So, look, it's possible. It's the spread is not 50, right? It's 11 or 12. Is it real likely? I think if Ohio State has their receivers, it's pretty unlikely, right? But it is possible because like Michigan has good players and this sport is more compressed than it's ever been. The talent's more spread out. Like Ohio State looks like the best team. They're probably the only team so far to me that looks like they're clearly above everybody else, but they're not like light years above everybody else. Right. So yeah, I think it's possible.
All right. The Egg Bowl. I don't recall a time, and obviously with what Lane's decision is adds to it, but Ole Miss, are they in, win or lose? Do they have to win? How sneaky good is Mississippi State when you look at the Egg Bowl?
There's no way they're in, that they are in, win or lose. I mean, they might get in if they lose, but I don't think there's any, like, that's a guarantee, like, at all. Their non-conference schedule was super soft. They had one of the easiest draws in the SEC. I mean, you would have lost to Georgia. Okay, that's pretty forgivable, obviously, especially in the fashion that it happened. Like Mississippi State's a pretty bad team. They're 1-6 in the SEC. They've had some close games. They've been blown out recently, pretty hard. If they lose this, and Lane leaves, I think committee will probably leave them out in favor of a different team. Like that's not a blue blood. It's not like it's not a program that has like significant like lobbying power. Absent like whatever Sankey will do for them with the SEC. I just don't really know that I see them getting in if they go 10-2. They should win this game easily if they were focused. Mississippi State's run D is horrible. Ole Miss actually runs the ball really well with Lacey. Like that should just be enough. But again, is that team focused? I've seen a lot of reports like the staff's very mixed on whether they should stay or go, and some infighting stuff there. So I understand why the line is what it is.
Okay. Let's just say they win. So they're going to be in. But if you're the committee and if Ole Miss says to Lane, well, then you're out now. Okay. This isn't quite losing Jordan Travis on Florida State, but quite frankly, that is losing the play caller. It's not just the head coach. It's losing a gifted play caller. If I was the committee, I would take a home game away from Ole Miss.
All right, I'm glad you went there. I thought you were going to say something like you would leave them out. I was like,
no, but I think I'm sorry. Without Lane, you're not a top 8 team in the country. I'll put 11-1. You're in, but you're going on the road.
So I think it is much, much easier to do this, David, if Bama wins the SEC, because then naturally they would have been bumped down a spot already. Because Bama's going to jump them if they win the SEC. I think Bama's going to get a bye. So, but if they don't, then you have to drop them 2 spots. Are we putting them behind an Oklahoma team who they beat on the road? like
Remember,
convincingly.
hold on now. Remember, same logic they used, okay, with Jordan Travis and Florida State. They're not the same team. They're not.
But okay, agreed. But like the committee, what the committee guy said last night, if you care what they say, which I really don't, but just for the sake of the show, is like it's different because we had seen that team play without Jordan Travis.
Okay.
Okay.
All
We
right.
have not seen Ole Miss, be coached
Fair
that
enough.
way.
Fair enough. All right. Not a rivalry game, but a big game nonetheless. Miami has to win and win. To me, not only do they have to win, they have to win convincingly because this is a comparative game that Notre Dame had with Pitt at Pitt. Can the Canes put a whooping on Pitt after what we saw Pitt do to Georgia Tech last week?
Yeah, they certainly can. I mean, Pitt has really suspect offensive line this year, and Miami has an awesome defensive line. They go up there, they rip that offensive line up, they get out to an early lead. They take away some of Pitt's RPO stuff, and you don't have to honor the run quite as much. And you keep pouring it on. Honestly, Miami was kind of close to pouring it on last week, and then you had that like bad snap when Beck wasn't ready for it in the third quarter. It went back like 25 yards and kind of a drive killer and a field position flipper. Looking at that, they could have easily blown out Vatek, but they didn't, right? And like too often this year, they just screw around too much when they have the lead. If they keep the hammer down, they certainly could beat a Pitt team that, I don't think Pitt or Georgia Tech are any good at all. Like they happen to have good records in the conference. Like, I don't think they're anything special, It's possible.
All right. Iron Bowl at Auburn. That's a very different game.
I think Bama rolls them. Honestly, like Bama was looking better week to week. Then they had the crazy turnovers against Oklahoma. They still doubled them up in yardage. I think that like Alabama can cover these Auburn guys at receiver. And I do think Auburn's defense is good, but also it has not faced a ton of the best offenses in this league. So, I think they can go out there and score and win by 10.
Oregon loses. Then what?
Whew. I think they're in, but I think it's like a 60-40 in type thing. It would depend on what happens like elsewhere. Like they're very much a Texas Tech fan at that point. You did not want BYU winning in the conference championship game, right? You don't want Miami killing Pitt. Like you don't want a situation where the committee is like, all right, we don't have to choose between the Irish and the Canes. We just put them both in.
Navy at Memphis tomorrow evening. Navy wins. They're in the conference title game. Will they?
So I think they will, actually. Like I think they're a better team than Memphis is. Memphis to me is kind of a paper tiger, no pun intended. I think they got a pretty good shot. Like Memphis run D is not great. Navy can really run it. I do think that they will win that ball game.
Who's playing in the ACC championship? Virginia get it done. SMU. When you look at that, who's playing for the ACC title?
I think it's probably those two with SMU winning it. I do think SMU is the best team right now, or at least they're playing the best in the ACC, with the exception of Miami. And obviously Miami is a team that's, because the conference draw, they're not likely to go. I think Virginia, but like UVA is not so good that they couldn't lose to Tech.
Would this be, by the way, the most surprising team in recent memory to make the college football playoff? I mean, TCU, Virginia. No, Virginia.
Oh, God. Yes, I think of the Power Four teams. Yeah, for sure. Or really, honestly, no, of all of them, David, right? Because like Boise was not surprising last year. They were, pretty overwhelmingly the G5 favorite throughout the year.
Cincinnati a couple of years before that. I mean, I really think this Virginia team being in the college football playoff would be, I don't know, maybe going back to BYU winning the Natty 40 years ago. Honestly, it'd be shocking to me.
I mean, I agree that they're like 50th in the power ratings.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I think you could rank them 12th and put whoever the group of 6 team in ahead. I mean, I literally think you could. They won't, but to me, they could. A&M in Texas. A&M going to go get a win in Austin?
I think so, because I really trust Mike Elko. I think that's a very well-coached team. But, like, Texas does have enough dudes on defense, and Arch has been playing better. If A&M doesn't tackle well, Texas screen game stuff lately has been really good. You could see Texas, their defense playing out of this world, and then winning like a 20-17 type game if Marcel Reed does not have his A game.
Biggest Vandy Tennessee game in a while. Vandy 3.5-point dog. Who do you like?
When you spread Vandy out, you can kind of throw on them pretty well. Tennessee did it last year and really torched them. You saw Auburn do it against them in Nashville about a month ago now. I don't think this is a good matchup for Vandy, just stylistically. So I understand why Tennessee's favored. We have Locks Pod coming up at 11. I'm considering laying it there with the Vols.
All right, if Vandy wins, and let's just say you're right, Tennessee spreads them out and they score, and Vandy still wins like they did against Auburn. Diego going to get to New York. Seems like there's a big push to get that kid to New York for the Heisman. I don't think he's going to win it, but there seems like there's a big push that he could maybe control the votes in the South, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Mark. I mean, if Tennessee's scoring on them and Vandy still wins, then that basically implies that Diego went off, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he has a really good chance to get to New York. Absolutely.
Most vulnerable team this Saturday, in your estimation, is
Oklahoma.
Really?
Just because, like, if you play offense like that, just every game is losable. Now, that defense means every single game is winnable. But, like, you just all it takes is a couple of bad bounces, and if you can't move the ball, you can't overcome those bounces.
That Georgia Tech, Georgia line look about right to you?
Yeah, Tech's defense is awful. And they really should have already had another loss. Like that Wake call at the end of that game is one of the worst.
Yeah.
Like that's one that you'd almost wish like replay could overturn and like award a win-loss type thing to a team. I also think here's something for you. I think a lot of teams adopted what Tech did to Georgia last year in their game plans this year. I think Georgia has seen a lot more of what Tech does this year, just leading up to this game.
If Texas wins, do they have any chance, or are they out?
I ripped the FanDuel numbers and said a Texas win, they have a 3% chance. So basically out, I think, barring like absolute chaos around it.
All right. Finally, the most important question of the day, bud. We've had NFL players suspended a game for spitting on another player, and we've had a player suspended a game for punching another player in the junk. Which is worse, getting spit on or getting punched in the junk?
Is it like punching the junk in a pile or like
that was a punch in the junk? That wasn't in the pile.
No,
that was close to a pile, but that was a right hook to the junk.
I still kind of think the spitting is more disrespectful, but like obviously, I mean, it's a good poll question.
Thank you.
Really,
we think it's our best.
Yeah. What's the voting at now that I voted spitting?
You would push it up slightly, but it's 52-48 punch in the junk right now.
Okay. All right.
The pain, bud. Happy Thanksgiving, bud.
Happy
Thank you
Thanksgiving,
so much for all you do for this show. We really appreciate it. Our audience loves you.
Enjoy it, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bud Elliott. Bud Elliott, the number 3 is how you can follow him. 2 L's, 2 T's. 24/7 Sports. Cover 3 podcast. CBS Sports. College football with Bud Elliott. Happy Thanksgiving to Bud and his family. We'll wish Chris Perkins the same next.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local glass doctor for details.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
This weekend, artisans unite the artistry of fine jewelry
and the artistry of fine dining at our favorite Sales in Naples.
With your Diamond District purchase of $2,500 or more, you'll receive $1,000 unforgettable dining experience at Sales,
where flavors of Europe join and every detail is a masterpiece.
Celebrate brilliance in jewelry this weekend at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Morning, Chris.
Gentlemen, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend.
Yeah.
One of those days. Technical difficulties all morning long.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, just back to stuff. I post a podcast after every hour, and it just has been wreaking havoc with me today.
Oh, man.
Usually it's a really easy thing, but well.
Yeah.
So now do you have Thanksgiving tomorrow, or do you got to work to it? Or both?
No. We got Thanksgiving tomorrow, going to a friend's house. The Dolphins are off. So they've squeezed everything between Monday and today. So, yeah. So it'll be a good thing. Don't have to go down there.
Good for you.
There have been years where you've gone down there and it's only been like an hour and a half and it's just a pain in the butt. And so, yeah, I'm glad they're just knocking it out today and Monday.
Very good.
Yep.
How many people at your Thanksgiving then?
There's going to be, I think, 8 of us.
Okay.
So it's going to be a pretty decent sized group. Yeah. Yep. Full house. How about you guys?
I got about 8 too.
Yep. Okay.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It's the final hour. It's the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. And we begin it the way we always do, on a hump day with Chris Perkins, Sun Sentinel, sun-sentinel.com. Follow him on X at Chris Perk, P-E-R-K. First off, a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm actually looking forward to college football more this weekend. Texas A&M, Georgia Tech. But you know, it's NFL season, so that rules. And Thanksgiving, who do we have? Kansas City and Dallas, right?
Right, in Detroit, Green Bay. That's not
Detroit, Green Bay.
So,
yep,
all right,
yep.
I'm going to hit you with our two poll questions before we get going.
All right, let's do it.
Best Thanksgiving pie: pumpkin, sweet potato, pecan, or mincemeat? Don't ask me why that's on there. But apparently that's a Thanksgiving thing in the Northeast.
Wow, sweet potato, and there can be no debate on this.
So I could do a whole segment with you on this because I happened to see this thing, Black Thanksgiving versus White Thanksgiving.
Right,
and
right.
I was in tears. I was in tears laughing because the guy was spelling white people like very differently, and it just made me laugh. And that was the point. It's sweet potato pie. It's
Right.
a black thing, and you white people just don't get it because it's never been on my Thanksgiving plate.
That's it. And dressing versus stuffing. Dressing made from cornbread and, you know, not stuffed into the bird. Yeah, got to have dressing.
There you go. But then the more important one, Chris.
Yeah.
This is an NFL one.
All right.
In the last 2 weeks, we've had a player suspended a game for spitting on another player. We have had a player suspended a game for punching another player in the junk. What is worse, being spit on or being punched in the junk?
Spit on, and there can be no debate on this.
Thank you.
How's that for 2 answers?
All right. To hell with the Dolphins. This is far more fun.
Gotta love it.
It's funny. They're probably going to win Sunday. They're going to win 3 in a row in November. Dolphins with a 3-game winning streak in November, and yet the fan base is depressed by it, aren't they?
Yeah, you know what? And here's the thing, David. You have this segment that doesn't want them to do that well because they don't want to mess up the draft pick. There's another segment that doesn't want them to do that well because they want to see change at the coaching position. You know, and then there's the segment that wants them to do well, but that segment also realizes, well, even if they make the playoffs at 10-7 and they win out, there's no way they're going to win a road playoff game, but good job in sprinting to the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to be satisfied at the end of the season, but one of those groups will be happier than the other two.
I guess my biggest concern isn't about how many wins they get. It's certainly about McDaniel, but it's about if McDaniel keeps winning, and Ross seems to want to keep McDaniel, How much power is this new general manager going to have, Chris?
That's a big question because, Chip Kelly wants to show that he can work well with Mike McDaniel, not the other way around, because Steve Ross, he really values the Mike McDaniel part of this administration. We saw that Chris Greer, the ex-GM, is gone and Mike McDaniel is still here. So, yeah, I think that is a thing. And, to me, what I want to see from Mike McDaniel are things that we haven't seen from the Dolphins teams under him in the past. So I want to see him beat playoff caliber teams, which particularly means Tampa and New England in the final 2 weeks. I want to see him excel in December and January. I want to see him win road games late in the season. I'm looking at that Pittsburgh game on Monday night. It's a road game. It's a late season road game. It's a primetime game. Do some things you have not shown us in the past, Mike McDaniel. I would feel better about bringing you back next season.
And there's a very good chance that they're going to enter that game on a 4-game winning streak. You would think if they have a chance to go on the road, cold weather game. Also, the Steelers are not going to be a whole lot better than the Dolphins. It might be 6-7 against 7-6, quite frankly, when that game is played. So not, but yes, if he can go and win that game. I am not here to tell you how to do your job because you're better at yours than I am at mine. But don't you think the interesting story Sunday, hell with the press box, go walk the stands. First off, take a picture late first quarter. That stadium's going to be half empty? I mean, the Saints are going to bring 14 fans. I mean, no, seriously. I mean, isn't that picture and the people that are there, I mean, to me, that's an unbelievable story. Who's at the game and then what they're thinking.
David, it's funny that you say that. Every week I do a 5 things to watch for in the game. My number one thing this week is the crowd. And it's just what you say. It's what percentage of Dolphins fans are there, how enthusiastic they're going to be, what is the fan interest? Are they engaged in the game or are they just kind of there just because they had tickets? You're 100% right. The last couple of home games against Buffalo and Baltimore, we saw a huge intrusion of visiting team fans. Before that was the Chargers game where the Dolphins got booed by their home crowd. So you're exactly right. That's the number one thing I'm going to be looking for. Not that the Dolphins are good enough to overlook any team, but you're right. I'm going to be looking at that crowd and how engaged they are, how much they're supporting their team.
Quick update for the Saints and Dolphins. This according to StubHub, because that's the ticket service I can pull up quickest on my phone. Lower bowl ticket right now, $64. $64. Wow. And trust me, I put it this way. If I put the over-under at $45 for a lower bowl ticket at noon on Sunday, where would you go? So I think it'll be under.
Yeah, I would be under. I would be under because, right, I mean, it's not an inspiring matchup for any reason at all. In New Orleans, you got Tyler Shook, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, the second-round rookie pick from Louisville. No Alvin Kamara out there because he's got the knee injury. With the Dolphins, you're just expecting them to win, and you're not expecting them to win 70-20 in the old school Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua explosive offense fashion. You're just I'm predicting 28-17. That's a boring game between a 4-7 team and a 2-9 team. I would take the under on that lower bowl price.
I think it was 3 years ago. Maybe it was 4. But, the Lions were 1-6 and won 8 of their last 10. And during it, they were a bad team. They had a bad year and a half before they won 8 of their last 10. And by the end of it, we were kind of like, oh, wow. You know what? They're right. They're doing things the right way. Is it possible that we've just been beaten down by so much Dolphins underachieving that if they put this little thing together and they finish this season the way they finished last season, that we would look at the coach and the roster and what they did differently?
I think there's 2 schools of thought on that. The first school of thought would be, wow, what a comeback. This is a team that was 1-6 and 2-7, and now they finished with 9 wins or whatever. What a comeback. But, I have to put a little bit more scrutiny on it. And to me, the goal of the season, the way to call the season a success was winning a playoff game. If you come short of that, again, what did you do that we haven't seen previously? And so if you end up only beating one playoff team, and if you end up, not having impressive road wins, and it's the same old, it's really just lipstick on a pig, right? You got through the 8 or 9 wins. You just did it in a different fashion. Again, Mike McDaniel, his first year had 9 wins. His third year had 8 wins. If you have another 8 or 9 win season, that's mediocrity to me. Impress me. Show me something you haven't shown before. Let me know that there's real, significant, meaningful progress being made here.
You've seen the Bills twice. You've seen the Colts, the Chargers, the Ravens. You've seen a few good teams. Who's the best team you've seen up close this year, Chris?
Ooh, probably Indy. Buffalo, I don't trust their run defense. Baltimore, I still don't trust them. I just think there's just too many leaks in that ship there. So, yeah, I'm going to say Indy. I mean, the way they came out against the Dolphins was just an absolute shock. Now, the Dolphins looked unprepared and uninspired, but that was a complete butt-kicking victory by Indy. For the most part, they maintained it. I know they slipped up last week, but the team that I've seen personally put my eyes on, it's been Indy, I would say.
A loss this week?
Oh,
well, I'm wondering, though. I mean, it's easy for me to say, oh, they lose this week, he gets fired. Do you think it would have that bigger ramifications if they lost this game this week?
I don't think Mike would be – Mike is here for the rest of the season.
Right.
But it would be very hard for him to make a case to return if he loses this game. You consider the way that they've lost some of these games this season, blowing the 17-0 lead against Carolina, having the Chargers come back on them, and then you would lose at home to New Orleans. By the way, this is the only game in a 4-week stretch that they're going to be at home, right? When you consider they were in Spain, had the bye week, they're at home this week. I guess it's a 5-week stretch, right? And then they're at the New York Jets and at Pittsburgh. So, they really need to take advantage of this on a lot of levels. You cannot lose at home to New Orleans and expect to have a good chance of coming back next season. By the way, and you have to think the Dolphins are in must-win every week. If you have designs on that far-fetched playoff spot, the 8th win probably knocks you out of contention because you're 9-8 at best.
Yeah, they win this. They'll be in the hunt in all those graphics. We got less than a minute, Chris. I'm just curious. I think we all agree Achan's been the MVP of this team. Give me a player that you've seen that's maybe overdone their expectations, a player that's like, hey, this guy's better than we thought. He can be part of the future.
I think Jordan Brooks is going to be number 2. I don't know if he's been better than you thought. Patrick Paul maybe has been better than you thought. It's funny. There's a lot of improvement on this team for a 4-7 team. The offensive line has improved. The cornerback position has improved. The front 7 has improved, although they just got plowed for 172 rushing yards by Washington. But, I would probably have to say Patrick Paul and Jordan. Patrick Paul as the most improved after Achan, or the guy that, you like what he's done, and then Jordan Brooks as the number 2 for MVP.
Chris, we're thankful for you. We wish you and yours a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy all your football.
Okay, same to you guys. Thanks.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This weekend, Artisans Unite, the artistry of fine jewelry.
And the artistry of fine dining at our favorite Sales in Naples.
With your Diamond District purchase of $2,500 or more, you'll receive $1,000 unforgettable dining experience at Sales.
Where flavors of Europe Join, and every detail is a masterpiece.
Celebrate brilliance in jewelry this weekend at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So, Deadstroke, I'm now very interested in the fact that you make a mole sauce, because I love a mole sauce and I've never even thought about attempting it. When you just look up how to make it, there are like 67 ingredients in a mole sauce. Like I'm trying to find a place down here that would act. Is there a place that you know of in Southwest Florida, a restaurant where they make their own, where it's not something that they're buying and throwing on a plate? Right. I mean, all right. So just for what I looked up quickly, 4 different kinds of dried chilies, 2 different kinds of nuts, sesame seeds, plantains, and corn tortillas, onions, garlic, tomatoes, tomatillos, cinnamon, cloves, coriander, cumin, and bay leaves, chicken broth, raisins, Mexican chocolate, brown sugar, or some other thing I've never heard of. This is nuts. And not only expensive, time consuming is all hell, right? Where's Javier? You worked at French Laundry. Let's make me a mole sauce, for crying out loud. Right. You have to roast. Exactly. You got to roast the nuts. And who wants a roasted nut?
But you know,
where's Jawan Jennings?
Hello.
A Immokalee whiskey. That in and of itself is pretty funny. There's a distillery in Immokalee for whiskey. I did not know that.
You sure that's not somebody's backyard? Have you had it, Empire? Okay. Because if it's good, people will drive anywhere. Have you had it? Wow.
I want to make it. Now I want to do a show from the Immokalee Distillery.
Totally. I'll drive down. Let's go. I'm intrigued as all hell now. Where can you purchase it?
Everglades Distillers, huh? Look at that.
Cool.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour on this Thanksgiving Eve. Have we ever had a show this busy?
I would say that we've had other shows this time of year, like this exact show has been every bit as busy in years past because we have our football guest list. You guys know it. We try to make an appointment listening for those of you that take in the show live, even for those of you that download the podcast. But we've done this before on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We jam everybody in.
Then we made our picks against the number. Mark made 11. 11, that's historic, ladies and gentlemen. That's historic. A, the number, and B, more than me. I don't think Mark had ever done either before.
No.
Okay. Congratulations.
No, I've never done this before.
And what'd you pick? 10 college and just the Lions?
Just the Lions, yes.
And I went with 8 picks, 6 college, 2 pro. I like the Cowboys straight up, and I'm getting 3.5. That's my and I'm worried about the Jags this week. Just saying. I am. I think it's a bad spot for them.
By the way, I've not looked this up all year, and it shows with the way I've picked games. But, David, who do you think the 2 best teams against the spread are in the National Football League? You've done the college stuff. So if I give you the college, you're going to give me a pretty good guess because you've paid attention to it. But who are the 2 best teams against the spread in the NFL?
If I had to guess, I would guess the Patriots.
They're third, 8-4. Good guess.
The Broncos?
No, not even they are not even in the top 6. The 2 top teams against the spread.
Okay. Well, then I'll just go the Rams and the Seahawks.
That's it. They're both 8-3. They're the 2 best teams against the spread. The Patriots are 8-4. Colts and Eagles 7-4. Bears 6-4-1. Those are your 6 best teams against the spread. There are 7 on the worst teams because 5 of them are all tied for the second worst record. The 2 worst teams against the spread in the NFL. Want to give it a shot?
Let me guess. Am I betting one of them this week?
I don't have your picks in front of me, but the odds are you probably on one of them.
Well,
no, you are not. No, neither team that you bet on is on this list in any way, shape, or form.
Which is interesting because I would have bet that the Titans were one of the 2 worst. But
they are not. They're not even in the top 7.
Okay, go.
It's the Commanders and the Saints who are both 3-8 against the spread. The Bengals, Vikings, Raiders, Packers, and Ravens are all 4-7 against the spread. So I guess, I do have Detroit beating Green Bay. So based on this, maybe I'll win 1 and go 1-10.
Come on now. Come on. Just beating yourself up.
Oh, no, I want someone to fade me hard and bet all of these games because David and I make a lot of picks over the course of the week. David made one yesterday. He actually got it wrong. He picked St. Bonaventure in the points. But we both hit the Monday Night Football game. We both told you Carolina will not cover that game. And yesterday, on my own, walking into the Michigan State-East Carolina game, I looked at my mom. I said, you know what? I'm betting the Spartans right now. And she goes, whatever you bet, double it. I got it with you.
Look at that.
And Sparty covered, going away. So I can win a bet or two when I don't do it on Friday at 7:21. Maybe the fact that this week is Wednesday.
Yeah.
7:21. Maybe that is the key, that we've got to bet a little earlier.
If that's the case, if you and I have really good weeks this week, you do know from now on we're doing our picks Wednesday at 7:21.
Oh, I know. No superstition among these two.
No, not at all. Especially if you have a robust week. Because have you had a 4-1 week?
No.
Right.
No,
Mark had nothing.
I've had a handful of 3 and 2s. I got myself to 500 and then kind of have scuffled since then.
Right. And so that's why you haven't had a big, I've had a 5-3 week and a 4-3 week. You've had a few 3-2 weeks. That's it. That's as above water as we've ever been week to week. So
right.
It would be amazing if you and I had robust weeks, rivalry week. This would be like the round of golf, right? We're 27 over par on the 16th tee, and all of a sudden we knock it stiff for a tap-in birdie. Okay, what'd you shoot? 98, but I went closest to the pin on 16. I mean, what? Yeah.
So that's about all we've got going for us, is maybe Wednesday picks will do better. We went through a lot of the rivalry week games with Bud Elliott. You picked Iowa, Nebraska, I believe, as one of your games because Nebraska is in rough shape right now. I have become friends with the guy because our daughters have played a lot of sports together. He went to Nebraska. And he literally said to me last week, yeah, Thanksgiving, I'll go home. I'll get up Friday. I'll watch my Cornhuskers blow it against Iowa again. That's a fan base that's going through pain right now because they keep being told that it's going to be better and it's going to be better quickly.
Well, they can't beat good teams.
No.
But Mark, they can't even do it once. That's the problem. Name me the last time, we have fallen for this with the Canes.
Right.
Remember, before the last couple of years when they were good teams, and they still managed to lose games they shouldn't have lost. But how many times in the 15 years leading up to the last couple seasons has Miami won a game in which we said, Miami is back? Oh, that's it. Now they're back. No, it was just one blip on the radar. It was one moment in time. Mark, the Nebraska fan, can't get the one moment in time. They don't beat ranked teams, period. It's remarkable. And that's why, even though Iowa's not ranked, they've been ranked for much of the year. Their losses are quality losses. I've seen them 3 times. They're a good, solid team. Nebraska doesn't beat good, solid teams. And without Raiola, I don't see how they have a chance.
They don't score without him. So I'm with you there. We talked about Florida State a couple of times on the show, and it's interesting because, yeah, it's a big rivalry game, but we watched Florida basically quit against Tennessee. Florida State's trying to get to a bowl. That's maybe the only thing Florida has to play for. South Carolina and Clemson's kind of the same thing. Clemson's already in a bowl game. South Carolina, who was a preseason, top 11 pick? Weren't they 11th in the country to start the season?
Yeah, or 13th, something like that.
Somewhere there about it. South Carolina has had a disastrous season. They're 4-7. Yet they're a 2.5-point favorite.
That's my point. Wow. A 4-7 South Carolina team is a home favorite over Dabo and Clemson. I saw that spread. I took 10 minutes to look up, is Clemson without their quarterback? Am I missing something? Who's hurt for Clemson? It wouldn't have shocked me if it was 2.5 the other way. It really does surprise me it's 2.5 this way. Now, I will say there were some of us who saw this season coming for South Carolina because we played the schedule game and we said, who here are they better than?
And they lost a couple of really good players on their defensive front from a year ago. They had pass rushers last year. They lost all of that and didn't really replace it. So they were a bit of a paper mache team. One other game I want to get your thoughts on, because I'm not being a jerk. I don't care, but you care greatly about this game. They play for something, a pig, an axe. I don't know what the hell it is. Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Right.
What they're playing for an axe? Or they?
Yeah, Paul Bunyan's axe. Absolutely.
It's already been played for. This is for the axe.
Where's the game?
Take the axe and then they go kill the pig with it.
Where's the game?
It's in Minnesota.
Okay, the Gophers will win. The Gophers hardly ever win this game in Madison. I think the Gophers can score more than Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin's defense is solid. It is. But I think PJ and the boys get it done. And what will that be? Another 7-win season for PJ?
Hey, know who you are. And I'm not joking when I say that. Sure, would they like to get to 9? That would be great. But they don't have many losing seasons with him, David. They really don't.
No, they don't.
Miller and Moulton, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was a day when and what's on tap. It's how we finish off the week, and it's next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind. Right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
This year during Thanksgiving week, Fort Myers takes the national stage, hosting not one but 2 elite women's college basketball tournaments, the Fort Myers Tip-Off and Coconut Hoops, both featuring Power 4 teams and nationally ranked programs. Few places in the country can showcase this level of talent. We're proud that Fort Myers is one of them. Don't miss your chance for tickets. Go to visitfortmyers.com/basketball. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Anybody else catch David just singing Grease? JDR Blue, that is so funny. You are so right. Seven Nation Army is the new smoke on the water for guitar players. That is fantastic. That is so well played, JDR. So well played. And I will say, JDR, it's a little more obscure, but what is it? Now that Paula can knock that down, I'm pretty sure with about an hour's training, if she can get through 4 chords, she could play Elderly Woman Behind the Counter of a Restaurant or whatever the hell that song is by Pearl Jam. Because I think 4 chords. Trust me, I can rock it. I'm kidding. This is where I get very embarrassed over my guitar playing. The son will be in town. He doesn't even play anymore, and he just picks it up and rattles around, and I can't play an effing bar chord.
Yeah.
So this place in Immokalee sells its mole sauce, is what you're telling me. So for a hopefully $18. I wonder what you get. What do you get for $18? Correct, Mr. Spivey. Correct. Oh, it's on Davis? All right. That's close to where the wife works. I can send her there. Hey, honey, while you work your tail off all day, can you run down and pick me up some mole sauce?
Nice singing voice.
You were knocking out some grease there. Yeah, we heard you.
Oh, my wife said something.
That's
she said something about chills, and so I mocked her.
You broke right into it. That was without hesitation.
I got chills. Oh.
Is that might be right across the street from where my wife works.
Just pop in one day. Just tell.
No, I mean she sneaks out to get coffee every once, just to get the hell out of the. Like she literally gets so loud there. She will go have lunch in her car just to get the hell away from the place for 30 minutes.
Oh, I so understand.
And it's not just the animals that are loud. It's the office. Like everything about that place is loud. And it's all women. And that's my wife talking, not me.
Right.
Paul, so you're doing online lessons? Paula, if you can get this guy to teach me how to play bar chords, I'll pay for both of our lessons. I just don't have the dexterity in the hands. I just don't do it. Okay, yeah, it's right where my wife works. I think it's the place right across the street. If you're saying a hole in the wall, I think that's it. I'm excited. Because usually when we go do Mexican down there, we go to, Julian? You know the place I'm talking about. There's one in Fort Myers, one in Naples. Yes, that's the one. On Shadow Lawn, or it's on the other side of 41. I think it changes names then. I know it does. Bob, happy Thanksgiving. Bayshore, there you go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Listen, before we get, and I won't spend long on this, I promise. Before we get to, good, bad, and ugly, what's on tap today was the day when. I don't think we gave enough of a chance for Miami to make the ACC title game. We've kind of written them off. The formula actually is not that complicated right now.
Right. Part one, beat Pitt.
Right. Then they need SMU to beat Cal. They need the expected to happen. They need SMU to win. They're heavy favorites. Cal just fired their coach. And they just played the Stanford game, which means a whole lot more to them than playing the SMU game. They need the upset in Vatech, Virginia. That's what they need. If Miami is in the ACC championship game, if they win, SMU wins, and Vatech beats Virginia. I mean, SMU wins, Virginia wins. That's the ACC title game.
Well, I'm sorry, but SMU could lose and Virginia could win. If they win, they go. No,
I don't believe so.
Okay, so they're.
I don't believe so.
Because then another 2-loss team gets in, is what you're saying.
Right. Yes, Duke would get in, is my understanding. If Virginia wins but SMU loses, Duke with a win over Wake would go over Miami. So the formula for Miami, it's simple. SMU's got to do their thing. Miami obviously has to do their thing. Then they need the Hokies.
But think about that. If that scenario happens and Duke goes, that means Duke, they have to win also. 6-2 in conference, 7-5 overall would represent them in the ACC title game.
Yes.
Wow, they've got to look at their tiebreakers. They really do.
Right. It would be Duke in that formula. It'd be Duke, Virginia in the title
Great
game.
basketball game. Excited about that.
Okay. By the way,
great basketball game 40 years ago.
By the way, for Pitt, the formula is exactly the same. They need SMU to win. They need to beat Miami, and then they need the Hokies. So the winner of Pitt-Miami needs SMU to take care of business, and then they need a Hokies upset. And the winner of Pitt-Miami would go.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
All right. Where do we start today? Oh, yeah. First cabinet meeting today, David. GW held it at his house, 1791. Hey, guys, come on over. I'm going to have a charcuterie board. We'll make up some food. You guys bring the drinks. Hamilton, you get the beer. Jefferson, you bring some whiskey. Secretary of War Knox, you know what? Just bring some crackers. And Attorney General Edmund Randolph, you don't have to bring anything. We just want you here. 1842, the University of Notre Dame is founded. 1865, Alice in Wonderland is published. Today in 1917, the Montreal Canadiens, the Montreal Maroons, the Toronto Arenas, the Ottawa Senators, and Quebec Bulldogs form the NHL.
Huh.
Today in 41, amateur tennis stars Bobby Riggs and Frank Kovacs both turned professional after being suspended by the U.S. Lawn Tennis Association for an undisclosed financial gain. They were even paying tennis players under the table, David.
So they had a guy.
I wonder if they played for the SEC. Casablanca premiered today in New York City in 1942. What is marketed as the greatest jazz session ever was recorded today with Charlie Bird Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, all sat down and banged some tunes out in what they call the greatest jazz session ever. The Price is Right, hosted by Bill Cullen, debuted today in 1956. Today in 62, the Beatles re-record Please Please Me at a faster tempo, based on producer George Martin suggested he'd stick around. Staubach won the Heisman today in 63, and Pete Rose won Rookie of the Year that same day. I don't usually get into the awards, but when Staubach and Rose both win awards on the same day, I thought, what the hell? Today in 65, after cleaning up a church in Stockbridge, Mass., where they had Thanksgiving dinner the day before, Arlo Guthrie and his friend clean up the place, but they throw the trash down a hill when they can't find an open dump. They are arrested. They're fined $25 each and forced to pick up the trash. When they return to the church, Guthrie writes Alice's Restaurant Massacre. It's 18 minutes long, and it's part of my Thanksgiving morning just to piss off my wife. OJ, remember him? He won the Heisman today in 68. It'd be years later we'd kill two people. Nixon signed the bill for the lottery for selective service draftees today in 69. Today in 75, Fred Lynn becomes the first rookie ever to be named American League MVP. The Sex Pistols release Anarchy in the UK today in 76. Cosell calls his last fight today in 82, being disgusted by the Larry Holmes.
Randall Tex Cobb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what, David? Today at 83, it wasn't so bad. Looking back upon this day, because Quiet Riot's Mental Health hits #1 in America, the first heavy metal album to reach the top spot. One of just 6 albums to be top of the chart in 83. Thriller, 22 weeks, and Synchronicity by The Police, 17 weeks. You know, in retrospect, not bad. Not bad at all.
Was that Come On Feel the Noise?
Yeah, you're damn right it was.
Okay, all right.
Girls Rock Your Boys. We're going to get wild, wild, wild. Today in 84, after 14 years and 518 goals, Guy Lafleur retires abruptly.
Oh, the flower.
Today in 89, MTV premieres a new show, Unplugged. Squeeze would be the first band on. Jules Shear would host the first season. Maybe the best show MTV ever had.
Yo MTV Raps. Okay. What was the late night?
Headbangers Ball.
Headbangers Ball. And that, I think that's your big 3 of MTV shows.
Dan Marino set a record today in 95 with his 343rd touchdown pass, and Stevie Eiserman scored goal number 600 today in 1999. Charles M. Schultz from the Peanuts, actor and singer Robert Goulet, and Tina Turner would have all celebrated birthdays today. Rich Little is still alive. I did not know that. The Impressionist is 87 today.
Yeah, but he's still doing Richard Nixon impressions. So, you know, what's the point?
Jan Stenerud, kicker for the Chiefs, is 82. Art Shell, 79. Harry Carson, 72. Dale Jarrett, 69. Harold Reynolds is 65. Father of the Year, Sean Kemp, is 56. What did I miss, David?
Harold Reynolds is 65?
Yeah.
He looks great.
No blank.
Great.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
60, yeah.
It makes sense. I think about the era that he played in. It's like, yeah, well, yeah, dummy. But wow. No, you hit it all. You did.
All right. You know what? I like to have a good game now and again.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to downtown Fort Myers for the good, where if you were downtown on Tuesday, you may have seen it too. A coyote was stuck on the ledge of the Luminary Hotel. Fort Myers Police Department, Fire Department, and FWC were on the scene at the Luminary Hotel where the coyote was on the edge of a ledge. They helped him make his escape and get himself free. Downtown coyotes. Thought they moved out of Arizona. For the bad, we'll come back to Florida, stay in Florida, I should say, and go to Miami, where Liz Freckle was arrested last week after having an incident with her boyfriend at the Texas Roadhouse. You see, he saw photos on her phone of her hugging another man and holding hands with him. He stormed out of the restaurant, left her by herself. Then he returned to her apartment to give her back her stuff. He'd had enough. He wanted to leave the items, or did leave the items, on an air conditioning unit outside the apartment and go home. But he left his car keys with the items, so he had to go back. She had already picked up her stuff and brought it inside. That's when he tried to enter the apartment. She tried to shut the door on him. He saw his keys and made a dash to get inside again. When he did, she locked him inside her bedroom. And then she told him, "You aren't going anywhere, you son of a... You're going to pay." She went to her closet and grabbed her machete. That's when she said, "I'm going to kill you, you son," and took a slice out of his arm with a machete swing. he was able to get out of the apartment, run back to the car, and get himself to the hospital where he was treated for a deep laceration to his elbow. She was arrested by the police. And finally, the ugly. If that wasn't, this is. We go to West Virginia, where I don't think this is anywhere close to almost heaven. One person's in the hospital, and one was arrested because two men were wrestling for a rifle after shooting at rats from a second-story window. 911 call indicated the injury occurred while the victim was cleaning the gun, but that's not the case. Apparently, the rifle was on the ground, and the two men decided to wrestle for the rifle. One got the rifle, discharged it, and shot the other man. Mugshot aplenty. He was arrested on the spot. Mark Fuller, the homeowner, was arrested and charged with a bunch of different charges. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly. No one hitting the junk. No one spit on, but deplorable nonetheless. And it's brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, who's now hiring, David, for a great job, great pay, and great benefits. Where do they go?
CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. All right. Lots of college hoop, not just on TV, but throughout the 239. There's some in the 904. There's some in the Orlando area. I mean, if you want to see men's or women's college basketball, you got to get out of the house. You got to get away from family. You can find it. By the way, FGCU has won 4 in a row on the men's side. Sure, most of you are unaware of that because, well, they don't do any advertising. But they're playing tonight at home.
No. If you drive by the school, they have a beautiful sign out there that tells you game tonight.
Oh, game tonight. That's right. So you'll see that sign if you drive by over the next 8 hours. But they've won 4 in a row, and they're hosting Kennesaw State. That used to be a conference rival. Kennesaw State has left, but you can go see them. Then they have about a week off till they play FIU. Just thought I'd, help out. The game of the night, though, in college hoops, like tonight, you've had your touch of family and you're just, oh man, I need something to get me to bed. All right. How about this? First off, St. John's Auburn on True TV at 8, but really 9:30 tonight, TNT, Gonzaga, Michigan. Okay. Michigan's in the top 10. Gonzaga should be. And they're 12.
After beating Alabama, they will be.
Right. I'm just saying. 9:30 tonight, TNT, Gonzaga, Michigan. There are, Mark, tonight, 15 NHL games. That's all but 2 teams in the league are playing tonight.
Hockey loves the day before Thanksgiving. Always has. All levels. Always a big draw, David.
Now, the Wings are usually at home. They oftentimes play Toronto. For whatever reason, tonight they're hosting the Preds, worst team in the league. Should get 2 points. Tampa Bay's home for Calgary. Florida's home for Philly. 9 NBA games also tonight. I think both leagues are taking tomorrow totally off. Heat are home for Milwaukee, for what that's worth. Your Pistons are in Boston with trying to set a franchise record win streak against the Celtics on the road. So there you go. If I had to tell you one of these 3 upsets occurred, Michigan, Washington, Auburn, which one would win?
Auburn.
Miller and Moulton. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 239-444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com. Football season is back and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent.
This is Miller and Moulton